Hello, my beautiful gemstones. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are a bit early this week. It's a Thursday, obviously, but I wasn't going to be able to stream at any other time this weekend, and I didn't want to miss the stream. So going forward, starting next week, it's going to be live intuitive oracle on Fridays every week. No more confusing schedule. We're getting mom moved to this weekend. It's going to be hectic. I cannot wait until it's over, to be honest with you. And I can't wait till my mom's closer, and then it's not such a hectic schedule. And it'll be a lot simpler. So, and then Steven will go on Saturday nights with the replays, and it'll be just regular. Oops, what did I do? Regular schedule. So I'm trying to go up so that I can see. There we go. Okay. The Bat Mom. Hello, Lotus Girl, Mama Cindy. I don't know. I love bingo. I think I'd choose this stream over bingo though, but it would win by a smidge. I love bingo. I haven't been to bingo in like 20 something years, but I always love to go. I would go with my mom all the time. First thumbs up. I love it. Yeah, Lotus Girl, that's the first thing I was thinking when I was speaking to you earlier. Like, I can't wait to pull a card for this tonight. Darling Deb, what's up, sweetheart? Blue Crossroads, a bit early. That's okay. Raymond, hi. Richard Elmore, Mark Halstead, Area 51, Miss Paranormal Pixie. Floors look great. Nice. I like it. Smoochie's around. All right. So I really don't have any other announcements. I'm a little tired, but I made sure to eat before we got started. Because during the week, guys, if you notice on Saturday, there's a lot more pep in my step because during the week, Thursdays and Fridays included, I'm up at like 6:15 in the morning. I'm usually in bed by 8:30. So and sleeping by 9. So it's a lot for me. But you know, it's worth it to hang out with you guys. And the summertime will be a little different too, depending on what we have the little guy doing. So I'm going to bring in Ghostdragonzw and we can just get started. I dug for some decks we haven't used in a while. And then I have our trusty favorites on hand as well.
Hello, folks. I'll say my highs as we go. So whenever you're ready, sweetie, just let me know.
Started early. Yeah. I got my husband to come home early tonight to stay with our little guy and get him to sleep for me. Because my office is, you know, like 2 feet, literally like 2 feet, like 1/2 a step away from our bed where little guy and I sleep. So he's got to get him down in the other room and do all that stuff. But he agreed to do it for me for this week so that I didn't have to miss the stream. He knows how important it is to me to be able to do this with you guys. It really does kind of refuel me for the week, even if I am completely exhausted by the time we're done. And I made a big ziti parm, so that was kind of like the exchange, you know, get home early and I'll have a nice dinner for you. Gemma, wow, lucky me. Just clicked on to see what was on the old YouTube, and sure enough, here's my ghost dragon and beautiful little gem. Yes, sir. Let us know, everybody, anybody, if y'all have to leave early. We're going to try to get everyone in tonight. Probably going to stop taking people at around 10. Yeah, Smoochie, it was. Ghost Dragons and I were just discussing that. You know, he definitely didn't have to do that. And he agreed to it immediately. He knows how important it is to me. So it is nice when, you know, you recognize that someone's trying at least, and makes me feel good. All right, who's first?
Bat Mom.
Bat Mom, by the way, your reading is up next. It's Mark and then you. So I'll either have it tomorrow for you or Monday, Tuesday-ish. All right, because I'm not working over the weekend. I'm going to use the Halloween Oracle. Thank you, Miss Pixie. This is, I don't want to say my favorite one that you got me, but what I will say is it's the one I've gotten the most compliments on so far. Everyone's like, that is your best wig. Hey, Grandma, I'm here too. Did you mean Gemma? What's up, Munchie Chipmunk? I'm not a grandma yet. Okay, don't push me. I'm the only one of my well, I can't say the only one of my sisters, but I always think I only have 2 sisters because those are like the only sisters that I really know. But so I will say it. I'm the only one out of all my sisters that has no grandkids yet. Okay, I want to keep it that way. I have been called weirder. Yep, Smoochie, exactly the same. There's always going to be that moment, and I'll think to myself, oh, here's where we're not getting along anymore. But I guess that's just relationships though, right? Autocorrect. Don't worry about it, girl. I'm so glad to see you back. You definitely add to the vibe, you know? All right. Jack-o'-lantern, the card of protection, Batmom. Old enough to be a granny. Do you know my sister? No shade on her, just facts, that she was a grandmother at 28. So, and my other sister was a grandmother at like 30 something. It's just normal. My family, we're from the ghetto. So, but like for me, I was like, all right, I'm good. I just turned 41. If I have grandkids now, I'm cool with it. Paranormal Pixie, a lot of people are struggling right now. I know Ghostdragonzw is having a hard night. I just feel extremely weak. Even before I laid down to take a nap while Ghost Dragons and RJ were playing Fortnite, and then 6 minutes later, my alarm for my ZD went off, so I got a 6-minute nap. Gemma from the block. No, it's true though. If you look up my hometown, you will understand what I'm saying. Okay, Batmom, Jack-o'-lantern. It took a lot for me to transform, and takes a lot for me every day to be Gemma, to put myself in that space of spiritual helper, you know, because sometimes I just want to go back to being old Gemma. And, you know, I don't know how many of y'all have bail money. Maybe if you like combine it. It was not good. Not a pretty picture. Oh, Jack, let me carve my protection, shine your fire outwards, evil, rejection, and reflection. Halloween wouldn't be the same without the carving of pumpkins into scary jack-o'-lanterns, glowing menacingly from porches, dinner tables, and porches everywhere. Jacks actually have a rich history and a spiritual bent. The original term for jack-o'-lantern was a will-o'-the-wisp, an old British term. The will-o'-the-wisp was a small bundle of sticks used as a flame or torch. The Celts, the Irish, and those living in the Scottish Highlands all carved winter vegetables, not just pumpkins, but also parsnips, carrots, or beets. The time around Samhain, Halloween, was of course when the fae and goblins were said to be roaming wild, and so the lanterns were intended to be both scary, scaring off the undesirable, and to light the way in the dark. Today, carving pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns has become an art in itself and a true icon of Halloween. Intricate designs, both scary and funny, can be found in almost every home that celebrates the holiday. Both electric light and candles now illuminate the inside of the lanterns. Know, Batmom, that you are protected and that you are capable of creating the life that you want, and that the universe supports you in this should Jack shine his light upon you. Boundaries are important to teach people how to treat us, and drawing this card indicates that you may wish to renew the ones you have or to establish new ones. Here's the thing. I feel like there's a lot of chaos going on with so many of us right now, but this is your reading, so I will say specifically to you, there's lots of chaos, lots of uncertainty, if not throughout like everything in your life, at least one or two specific areas. And that type of chaos can cause us to feel uncertain. Even when some relationships, some situations are going, you know, swimmingly, perfectly good, we tend to focus more on the negative, right? So we're putting more of our energy into these chaotic, somewhat negative situations, trying to figure out how to fix them, to make them less chaotic. The universe is telling you right now, there is a major boundary issue that's causing a lot of the chaos in your life. Okay. I was talking about this with several people in personals this week, where it's like, yeah, we can set all the boundaries we want, but until we enforce them, the other person isn't going to learn anything. If you talk to me like that, I'm going to hang up on you. And then the person continues talking to you like that and you don't hang up on them. That shows people that you don't have boundaries, and that you're going to stand there threatening all day. That shows people that they can get away with things with you, that they can push that extra, push that extra shove towards you, and you're not going to do anything about it. In the next 2 weeks, Batmom, I want you to really start, and if you have to, start small. Enforce boundaries for taking some time for yourself. Enforce boundaries of what you are willing and unwilling to accept in your life, into your energy. And I'm sorry to say that anyone, no matter how close you think you are to them, who can't abide by at least most of the time, right? Because we all make mistakes and we don't want to be kicking people out of our lives because they inadvertently cross a boundary once, right? People make mistakes. We're human. But, oh, hi, Ashley. I just realized who that was. I saw the last name. I was like, oh, yay.
Hi, daughter of mine.
We want to give people chances. We don't want to just completely get rid of people, but I feel like you know who these people are that like constantly and consistently push these boundaries and take and take and take. Until you get this under control, the chaos is going to like reign in your life because you're not in control. You're giving your power and your control away to people who don't deserve it, don't appreciate it, and have no intention of reciprocating energy. I love it. I'm having a bad day. So glad you are being Gemma. Well, thank you. Don't have a bad day. I'm going to send you sparkles. Gemma sprinkles. Ashley, I am so glad to see you. I'm so glad to see you in here.
Yeah, maybe Mando will pop in and you can say hi to Amanda.
I saw the name and I had to, that's why I stopped for a minute because I had to think. I was like, I know that person.
Yeah, I saw that, Lotus. We need to talk, young lady. Ashley. Yeah, Amanda's been here coming in too, but I forgot to tell her that she was streaming tonight, so I hope she stumbles in.
He young ladied you. Well, I did share in the community and she is subscribed, so hopefully she'll see it.
Is Rebecca with you? And we'll make sure you both get a reading tonight.
Yes, let's do that. Smoochie, I didn't see what happened if you said why you were having a bad day, but I do hope you feel better. I don't like to see anybody struggling or suffering. Not my gemstones. I'm like, I taught you guys better than this. Speaking of not being a grandma, I feel like mom to all of you. Even those of you that are older to me. Older to me? Why did I say that? Older than me. I want to mother all of you. All right, who's next?
Lotus.
And put your girls, or at the very least Ashley, up because they're new, so they don't have to wait, till be 20th. We do that for family too. I'm sure the gemstones are not going to care.
That's all right. I'll get my $5 out of Ashley one way or another.
Lotus, I think your situation calls for the Blue Crossroads deck. We're going to do Deep, Dark, and Dangerous. Darling Deb, so sweet. Thank you for being patient with me. By the way, you and Tennille have been saints the past couple days. I know y'all have been trying to reach me, and I just keep getting back to you in snippets. I've just been really tired. I have my doctor on Wednesday, so I am going to try to talk to them about it. Just this overall weakness. All right. Okay, so you got the card of gratification, the Sphinx. Hopefully we can get some information. It is a dangerous card, card number 40. Lotus, mark your successes. Use your intellect. Be wise, and as such, know that you can't know it all. Be curious. You don't always need to expect to receive something immediately. Take your time to do things well. Delayed gratification can build character and help you achieve big goals. Guard what is integral to you. Everything that annoys or irritates you about someone tells you a lot about yourself. The mythos of the Sphinx carries right through the ancient world of Greece, Egypt, and Asia. Her appearance, though, doesn't change much and features the head of a human, falcon, cat, or sheep, and the body of a lion with the wings of a falcon. In the Greek myth, the Sphinx, a child of Typhon, is female and intelligent yet deadly. She will slay anyone not able to answer her riddles. In Egypt, the Sphinx has the head of a man and was considered benevolent and protective, guarding entrances to important buildings like temples. The famous Great Sphinx of Giza in Egypt is the image most people know of the Sphinx, and in this case, unusually, the features of the Sphinx's face appear to be that of the pharaoh Khafre. We unfortunately have no reliable archaeological evidence of why this may be so, or even any evidence concerning the erection of such a prominent statue, so this is a mystery for now. In Southeast Asia, the man lions that often sit at the doorway of temples are said to take away the sins of visiting devotees and to protect them while they pray. Perhaps the most famous myth regarding the Sphinx is the Greek version, which is the story of the deathly riddles. The Sphinx guards the entrance to the great city of Thebes and only lets travelers through if they answer correctly. Then later, she begins to strangle and devour anyone who does not know the answer. People are wary about entering at all, and the Sphinx is gratified at being fed so many people who simply do not pass her test. The riddle is this: which creature has one voice and yet becomes four-footed and two-footed and three-footed? Eventually, it is Oedipus who manages to work out the answer. Man, who crawls on all fours as a baby, then walks on 2 feet as an adult, and then uses a walking stick in old age. The Sphinx is outraged and decides to ask him a second riddle, knowing full well that if he fails, she will kill him. There are 2 sisters. One gives birth to the other, and she in turn gives birth to the first. Who are the 2 sisters? She asks. Oedipus takes his time but answers day and night. He is correct and is not killed. Shamed and devastated that she has no gratification and no hope of recovering her reputation, the Sphinx throws herself from the high rocks and perishes. Plant companion is acacia, and your crystal companion is one that I still have not. I don't think I have any, but I do have some crystals. I don't know what they are. So it's beryl. I want to look up beryl crystal. I just want to see what it looks like. Ooh. They have golden beryl, raw beryl, green beryl, natural beryl. All right. So it looks a little bit like citrine. At least the golden beryl does. So get you some beryl. Life with Bobby and anyone else that popped in that I didn't get to say hi to. Hello. All right. So Lotus, there's a lot to unpack here, especially knowing what's going on right now, that you feel kind of like under attack. And that's because you are. Several months ago, I kept getting images of you being literally attacked, right? I kept saying someone in a hood and they're coming up behind you, and I was describing the streets, and I'm wondering if that has something to do with now, because sometimes I'll say something and you and I are like, well, I guess that was a fluke, and then 5-6 months later it's like, oh my gosh, do you remember when you were talking about this? I think that might be what happened here, and that's not to say you're going to be attacked. I'm just saying, anything is possible. This is somebody getting their kicks, getting their cookies from like threatening you. This person is like, it's a joke to them. They're making a joke of it. They are somehow noticing or finding out or hearing through the grapevine that you're nervous. You're taking it seriously. Anybody would take something like what happened and what was said to you guys seriously. So no judgment or indictment on that. But it's like this person, it's like they're just feeding off of that. So what do you do? Because you have to react. You have to act as though these are serious threats. And I don't think that they're not serious. I just think the person is getting a lot of pleasure out of your reaction. I feel like this is another thing like with the toe list, where it's like, all right, what can we do right now to ensure that things get better, that this situation is handled, that this situation is fixed? And what I'm seeing though is like the universe is going to have y'all win in the end. You are going to come out on top of this. The problem is it's not going to be immediate. And the reason for that is unknown. It's just a lesson that you guys have to learn in order to advance financially, advance spiritually, advance physically, mentally, emotionally, psychically, all of that. And I feel like it's going to get you guys to a point where a major choice is going to be finally made over something you guys really don't know what to do with or what to do about. Okay? I don't see any real, anything can happen. So I don't want to say I don't see you guys actually being in danger, because I do think these people are dangerous. I think that this is what they do though. I'm getting they're thuggish. Do you know what I'm saying? They're this is what they do. And I don't even know really from what I'm seeing if it's these people that have the problem, or if they were sent to make a problem by somebody else. Now they're getting others involved, and you guys really do have to be careful. Make sure that even if these threats drop off and don't continue, to still follow through as best you can and take it as far as you possibly can, because I don't feel like this is something that's going to just go away for good on its own. My Wi-Fi keeps popping, so I'm going to turn it off on my phone, guys. If you guys hear noises, it's just I have my window open and Ray and the little guy are playing in the yard. Let me just turn my Wi-Fi off, so that might help a little bit. 72 degrees out. It's not windy, but I feel like when that little thing pops up, I'm like buffering.
Are you ready for your next?
Alyssa, what's up, girl? Who's next?
We're going to do Cindy Lee next. And then after Cindy Lou, we're going to do Deb and Blue. Then we'll fit Ashley and Rebecca in. I'm just giving them time to listen. And
that's fine. Whatever you want to do. Mama Cindy, I'm using Energy and Spirit Oracle. Okay. It is poopily service. I'm telling you, T-Mobile is the actual worst. It is my internet. I hope that it's good on y'all's end. There he goes. Okay, how many times is that going to happen tonight? Let's take a bet. He goes away. You're welcome, Miss Melissa. Thank you, Miss Melissa. Okay, Mama Cindy, you got the card of balance, centered energy and self-care, and you got it in the upright position. It is card number 24. This card indicates a time of leveling out. While you might have felt off-center or even out of control, balance is being struck in your daily life now. This card is telling you that your energy and emotions are settling down, and you'll be gaining a greater sense of personal control. Even your physical habits, such as eating unhealthfully or not getting enough water or movement, are becoming more moderate and honoring for you too. This important time raises your consciousness about your needs and priorities, reminding you of the self-care you deserve. So be mindful of how you spend your time and whom you spend it with. Honor yourself and make your own health and peace a priority. When you do this, balance will become a way of life for the rest of your life. Your affirmation: I balance my time and my priorities. It's safe and soul honoring for me to care for myself. Here we go. Okay. This is like the everybody's taking, nobody's reciprocating, nobody's transmuting and popping it back to you. Everyone just has their hand out energetically, right? And this isn't to say some people don't need your help with certain things right now. But when do you draw a line? Where do you draw the line, Cindy? You have to, and you will. I feel like the universe is saying, look, you can be pushed to this point in the next week or two where you're so overwhelmed and where you feel maybe so underappreciated or so agitated or so off kilter that you're going to start being like, no more, that's it. Or you can just make that choice for yourself. And when you make that choice for yourself and follow through with it, then you're going to see the people around you who's still around you. Because there are certain people, we all have them in our lives. Again, this is everybody, where as soon as you're not giving them something, you're no longer useful in their lives. And I feel like you do have some people there that you may be like, you know, is this how they feel? You're unsure. That's a great way to find out. Try saying no every once in a while. Make it a ritual to, you know, take a ritual bath twice a week, you know, and at that bath time that you choose, nothing and no one comes before it except for cases of extreme emergencies, right? So I feel like this is the universe testing you, Cindy, to see if you're going to prioritize yourself or if the universe is going to have to push you to prioritize yourself. If the universe has to push you to prioritize yourself, that means you have not learned the hard lessons to get to a place where you're able to prioritize yourself on your own. What's up, John? That means you're going to have to go through more than you would if you just make the decision. Okay. Remember that not making a decision and procrastinating and just being like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to stand still. That is, in the eyes of the universe, making a decision. And the universe will eventually make that decision for you. And it's going to take you down the hardest possible road or avenue to get to the end, because the universe, it needs you to go through all of it again to see which decision you make next time. That's, the generational stuff that we inherit. So how many times can one person steal money from you before you wisen up? Do you know what I'm saying? No judging. I'm just saying, how many times is someone going to cheat on you before you? I'm not saying any of these things are happening. I'm using it as an example because these are very common generational curses that people come into this world with, and they never ever break. How many times are you going to be in abusive relationships with people who don't care about you before you finally start valuing yourself? These are these generational lessons. And I feel like the universe is telling you, like, look, you've done your job for everybody. You've been there. You've been the go-to person. Now it's time to just take some time, just some of your time, and give it to yourself.
You ready, Eddie?
People who get you into trouble constantly, for sure. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. No, I forgot. Darling Deb.
All right, Miss Deb girl.
Hello, darling.
I'm going to use dark light. Don't forget, guys, if you have to leave early for any reason and you can't hang around, you're so welcome, Mama Cindy. Thank you. Let us know, and we'll do our best to accommodate everybody. Quest, card number 31, searching for my grail. Sounds delightful. Deb, the quest starts here. I shall let nothing stop me. I will cross wild rivers. I will climb high mountains. I will conquer new castles. My adventurous soul guides me. There will be giants to fight, storms to face, dark paths to endure, but I'm ready. I'm a modern day knight on a quest. Are you also? What is your quest? What is your grail? Are you willing to galvanize your strengths and walk until your feet are bleeding? Are you worthy to travel at my side? If so, swear that you will never give up, and let us begin. Keywords: goal, personal journey, crusade, mission, search of a personal grail, strength to never give up. Your affirmation: I've embarked on my personal quest, and nothing shall divert me from it. Akin to a modern knight, I shall not rest until I find my grail. Yeah, this is you, and it's almost the same thing. It's like you have to put as much energy and focus as you're putting into someone and or something else into yourself. The time is now. I feel like you're learning so much recently, learning about who you are, what you really want. And these things may be surfacing that you never even knew you were interested in, that you never even knew you wanted until one day you decided you did. The thing here is the pushback you're going to get from other people. I feel like that is going to be your quest. Yes, you're ready to do everything in your power to obtain or achieve whatever this is, but you're getting pushback because people, or at least a person, like, they like you how you are. They don't want any change from you. They want everything to just, stay even keel, stay the same, everything's good. But unfortunately for them, you're built and destined for more. You're a light worker. There's no way you can stay stuck and stagnant if you're not helping others. And when you're helping others, you're almost never stuck and stagnant, right? So this is you deciding what you really want. Making, you're really great with lists and like planning things out, planning exactly step by step how you're going to obtain it, and then making no apologies about going after whatever this is. Now, the universe wants to see what you do, how you go about this. So it's not going to be something instantaneous, but it is something you've been trying to manifest for a while. And the universe is saying, like, we see you, we hear you. Hold on, keep pushing forward, keep fighting, keep battling through. You will obtain or achieve whatever this is, but not if you give up now, not if you give up at all. Because once you attain this goal or achieve this thing, there's going to be something else, right? And then after that, there's always going to be more. We're human beings. I feel like this is the universe telling you you're on the right path. There's some hard times ahead, some difficult moments that you're going to have where you're going to wonder, am I doing the right thing? Put all that nonsense aside. You are absolutely doing the right thing. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to grab a Red Bull.
Okay, so that was quick.
I had one on hand just in case. I was trying not to drink a second one today, but I'm really tired, so we're gonna do this. By second, I mean fourth, but either way. I got my Stanley Cup.
Sending
so
that stuff to you.
I've really only been having one. It's not my fourth one. I was only kidding. It is my second, though, and I'm kind of disappointed because I've been only having one. But I have my Stanley, so no, don't stop sending me Red Bull, please. Like, I need them to get through the day. I can't. Just have a bit, sis. Yeah, I think I'm going to maybe have like half. I just need like a little boost because I'm usually in bed by 8:30, like sleeping by 9. I'm an early bird. I'm not fun. 39 coffees. I barely feel it. I barely feel it anymore. I am trying to get off of it, like completely go back to like a coffee or a tea in the morning, which is doable. I just have to slowly pull myself away from it. And like, I think it's more in here, but I remember the day I didn't have any and I didn't have money to get any and Ray had already left for work. I had the best day. I was so calm and like, yeah, I was more tired, but I thought I was going to be like running around. Yeah. Like a, what head being like, I need Red Bull, but I wasn't. I was actually really calm and very pleasant. And
okay.
Oh no, I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink
spirits.
Sorry. Who's next?
You're fine. Blue's next. And then we'll do Ashley and Rebecca. Is this Munchy Chipmunk's first time too?
No, we were hanging out with her last week.
And that's what I thought. Too. Okay. I was like, wait a minute. I knew that we had one. Okay. I'm just making sure.
No, Deb, you're getting it all wrong. It's not depressing. It's that you may feel like something is overwhelming, but it's the universe telling you, like, for as overwhelmed as you are, like, just keep pushing. Don't listen to anyone else. It's okay to take advice into consideration and do what you want to do anyway. You've got this. Like, you're on your way. You're on the right path. It's just, you might be getting tired of the path. You might be like, okay, well, I've been trying to do this for this long. I'm going to move on to something else. The universe is like, no, don't do that because you're going to achieve this. All right, Blue, I'm using liminal spirits. Yeah, no problem. I'll ask, guys. All right, you got fiber. Now, these are not in alphabetical order. They're in some weird order that only the author understands. So let's see. Clay, fiber, got it. Clay, fiber, bone. I know about Mom. Really, Melissa Nicole? I'm so mad they got rid of the kiwi apple. Okay, Blue, with the harnessing of fiber, we brought forth cloth, again changing how we evolved as a civilization. The fiber we make our threads from can be plant or animal in nature: cotton, hemp, bamboo, flax, wool, silk, etc. Our understanding of fiber led the way to the creation of many arts we still practice today, including weaving, spinning, and basketry. It takes great skill to produce threads that are consistent and useful, which may explain the association of good, dependable people being of solid moral fiber. We also connect fiber with the fates, the mythic weavers who form, measure, and cut the threads of our lives. I feel like my lipstick is too light. I'm going to have to fix that. Recognize the threads that connect you to the people around you. Together, you create a pattern that is evidence of a sacred bond. The name of the game here is patience and fortitude. If you rush or make haste, you'll be greatly disappointed by the outcome. I think we talked about this in the Libra, one of the Libra personals recently, which is your sun sign. We talked about, not rushing. And for you specifically, being the Libra, it's like rushing to find that balance, which to me is like an oxymoron, right? We tend to think of fate as something we are subject to, but we have a say over how we weave our patterns. So take control of your own thread. Here's the thing. People are like, if everything is written out and contracted, I'm not sure, Melissa. If everything is written out and contracted, then free will means nothing. But that's not true, because it's not like we're born and we're like in our heads, okay, this is our contract. Do you think it was in your contracts for all of the horrible, terrible things to happen to you? Some of it was so that you can learn lessons and grow and experience things. But a lot of it was due to other people's free will. I don't believe I was contracted to live most of the life that I lived. But we always somehow, if our mind and our hearts and our spirits and our energy are in the right place, end up back to where, okay, maybe I was supposed to be doing XYZ when I turned 41, but I'm not doing XYZ because my life took a different turn because of my free will and the free will of others. But here I am now, back where I'm supposed to be. I just got here in a different way. It's like following a straight road or taking a winding, bending one. You're still going to get to the same destination. It's basically like how much you learn, grow, achieve, and ascend on your way. Okay. So this is telling you, you've got to have patience. You have to have that fortitude, which I know that you have, even when things seem impossible. And this is almost like what I just said to Deb. It's like, how badly do you actually want this? And if it's not that badly, what are you putting yourself through all of this overthinking, overanalyzing, mental turmoil for? And if you do want it badly enough to tolerate that stuff, tone that crap down and just be patient. Do other things while you're waiting to achieve or obtain this. This is the universe telling you, like, no one is saying no to you, meaning the universe, your guides, your team. You're not being told no. This is a part of your contract, whatever this is. The problem is free will gets involved. Other people make decisions that end up, I was going to say finicking in, but that's not the right word. Like digging into your stuff, and then all of these things happen. And it's like, I'm trying to think of a way to put this, but I think I said it right from everything that I was seeing and hearing. It's like, don't give up. Just find something else to do in the meantime. Do what you have to do. Have the patience, have the fortitude. I feel like you do need to work on like boundaries with people. Not by being rude, mean, cruel, detaching yourselves or distracting yourself, but by being firm with people in a nice way. And I feel like that's a balance you may struggle with because you're a straight to the point guy, but not everyone has that heart. Not everyone's emotions work that way. You could end up hurting somebody you don't mean to. You could end up not getting your point across enough that somebody doesn't take you seriously. It's finding that balance, that communication balance of letting someone know what is and what isn't acceptable, sticking to it, and kind of being like, okay, if this was meant to be, it will be. This is the acceptance, the radical acceptance of it was meant to be, it will be, but what do I do until then? Shelly, what's up, girl? All my gemstones in here are loved. If you're in here, you're loved, at least by me.
Hello, Skyline. Skylight? Are you new?
Peppa, hi. I didn't
Hey,
see anyone
Peppa.
named Skylight.
Just came in.
Hi, Skylight. I think I've spoken to you before, but I'm not sure you've ever been here. So if you're new, let us know.
Yes, please. Okay. We're going to do Rebecca first, then Ashley.
Okay. We get good ones. All right. So Becca, I'm going to use Celebrity Spirit. I think tomorrow I'm going to have Dunkin' coffee in the morning and try to do a no Red Bull day. I hope you guys are having a great week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. It's going to stink that my mom has to move and like not having that, space for RJ and I to go to. But at the same time, it's going to be so nice having her only 15 minutes away, not having to travel, the 3.5 hours total every other weekend. Skylight, I'm happy you found this channel as well. All right, Miss Becca. Heath Ledger, the show must go on. Card number 26. So we all have these titles, and I always forget what they're called. Like, it'll come to me and then I'll forget immediately. It's like our mission statements in our life contracts. And in the Celebrity Spirit Oracle, it tells you what each deceased celebrity's life mission was, whether they achieved it or not. And then it has like the underscores of what they actually achieved. So Heath Ledger's title was Hero Outlaw. He was Knight Rebel Adventurer. Heath Ledger was born on the 4th of April, 1979 in Perth, Australia, and died on the 22nd of January, 2008 in New York of an accidental drug overdose. He was an Aries. In his short life, he was a well-known Australian actor, photographer, and music video director who became world famous when he moved to America and got involved in the film industry. His colleagues knew him as a magnificent actor as he threw himself wholeheartedly into all of his roles. It was stated by Rolling Stone magazine, quote, "Ledger's magnificent performance is an acting miracle. He seems to tear it from his insides," end quote. Due to sleep deprivation, Heath found life and work difficult, and his general health and personal life was negatively impacted. Give everything you do your best shot, even if you have to go inside out, as if it's your last performance. I tried. When I tuned into Heath, I picked him as a young energy, very fast, lively, and curious. He smiled a lot, and his energy felt friendly. Although he didn't say much, like most spirits I channeled, overall, he was content. He had his healing in the spirit world and his life review. From my experience, his spirit felt light, and his energy, though fast, was at peace. As an actor myself in my early years, I understood Heath threw himself into his roles like a method actor, which over time must have been very taxing in so many ways, especially in conjunction with his addictions. For someone who had such a controversial and fast life on earth, I am sure this is a blessing for his loved ones left behind, his many friends, and for everyone who ever loved him. Heath's message was for people from all nationalities and social backgrounds to have the right to live a good and fair life. In his view of the world, if anything, needed more love. If you have chosen this card, Becca, you have the natural ability to become whoever you want to be in any situation quite easily. You're a chameleon. Sometimes we need to wear different hats just to be accepted or to fit into any given situation or what is presented to us in life. This card is giving you the confidence to say you have the right energy and adaptability to do so. You may also be a natural clown, able to make people laugh or cry as if wearing a mask and giving you control without difficulties. This is a natural attribute to have, and you are able to mask your real emotions and through humor cross a boundary of social acceptance, representing what people would like to do or say themselves. So there's a lot here. The one thing I will say, Becca, is that it is fine, girl. I'm the queen of hiding behind sarcasm and pointing out my own flaws. The reason I do that, especially with pointing out my own flaws on YouTube publicly, is because that takes the power away from the trolls that want to point them out. Like, I talk about wearing wigs all the time. I make fun of myself for it. I make fun of my accent. I make fun of my weight. I do that because it takes their power away. So I feel you. What the universe is saying here, though, is that for as amazing and incredible as it is to be able to fit in, look at all the different people I fit in with. All these people that tune in to listen to me ramble and talk nonstop for hours, once a week, at least once a week. And then who also text me throughout the week and show up sometimes twice. Like, why? You know, I don't really get it. I'm happy it happens. But that's because I'm able to really connect with people's hearts and understand what they need to hear when they need to hear it while still being authentic and not BSing them. There's something going on here with you, though, and I feel like it's been going on for a long time, where you've become so accustomed to hiding behind this kind of sarcastic or maybe humorous, whatever it is, like clown mask, that you're losing touch with your real emotions. And the Becca that you actually are deep down on the inside that's meant to shine and help people and go far in life is becoming lost in these various roles you're playing, even if you're not doing that on purpose. The universe wants you, Becca, in the next week or two to try to have more authentic reactions and conversations with and to the people around you. For instance, it may be perfectly authentic for you to make a joke or a sarcastic remark instead of actually answering the question of how are you doing if you're not doing well. Try not to make that second nature, at least for the next week or two. Try to stop, become aware of your emotional vibration, feel how you're really feeling, and if you trust the person, talk about it. I feel like you're burying a lot of emotion, you're burying a lot of yourself under these guises. And here's the thing, human beings weren't meant to get along with everyone all of the time. The fact that you're able to do that is incredible, but that keeps false people in your orbit as well. It can end up being dangerous because these people want the Becca that you're pretending to be for the moments that you're with them to make them feel better. Even though you don't mind doing it, it does take a toll on you energetically, okay? Be authentic. Don't just go along to get along. No more people pleasing, or at least give it a shot. Give saying no a shot. Give telling someone how you really feel a shot. And you know what? If that person like rejects you or like doesn't seem very interested once you actually start answering their question of, for instance, how are you doing? Then okay, that's someone I can't trust. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to learn who's around us in that way by just being brutally honest. I don't want to say brutally because honesty should never be brutal and love should never hurt. Blatantly honest, blaringly honest. Good. Ashley says, thank you for this. Becca needed this message more than you know. Was right on, spot on for her. Thank you. You're welcome. So Becca, it's like the more authentic you are, I used to always say to people, I'm the least offended person in the world. And then I realized as I started doing YouTube and people started really offending me that I'm not the least offended person in the world. I just never felt I had the right to tell someone when they were crossing a line with me. But I've started doing that. It's a slow going and very painful, awkward road. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. But once you get to that point where people know that you're not going to accept them crossing those boundaries, the right people are going to be so attracted to your energy. They're going to work with that energy and you're going to have an even more fulfilling life and more amazing people around you. And those people who only want to be around people they can suppress, push down, and cross boundaries and push around, they're going to steer very clear of you because they know that you're not the one. You cannot please all of the people all of the time. And I guarantee you, even the people you feel like really like you because you've adapted yourself to like what they think is good or whatever, they're talking poop behind your back because that's just the type of people they are. You're not winning anyone over. So keep your authentic self, your sarcasm, your fun-loving personality. But at the end of the day, the people that really deserve your honesty, your authenticity of spirit, give it to them. Let the walls come down a little bit. All right, Miss Ashley.
That was really good reading, Rebecca.
Hey, Eris. Hey, Mike.
And she did nail that.
Whew.
Needed to hear that. And Becca, Ashley, have fun with this.
All right, Ashley, I'm going to use the Lantern Oracle. This is one I dug for today.
Mike, that's my daughter and granddaughter in the room, Ashley and Rebecca.
Don't be convenient for people. Real people can deal with real people, right? All right. This is the Lantern Oracle. Oh, that's so sweet. I love this Oracle deck. I just forgot about it because I have over 200, so. You got Wishful Expectations, card number 14. Acknowledge the smoke and mirrors in your life for what they are. Ashley, sometimes we get so attached to how we want things to be that we shut our eyes to how they really are. This can bind us to a wheel that spins in the opposite direction of genuinely realizing our dreams. The assumptions that we hold about how we think our wishes, quote unquote, should come true and in what form can easily trap us. Once we are caught within the rigid confines of how we mistakenly believe our lives should look, we become enslaved to perpetuating the impression we create for others and need to keep believing the pretense for ourselves as well. Despite our heart knowing that something about our life is not right or disingenuous, it can often feel easier or even appear logical to continue pretending that things are as they seem. Denial becomes our survival mechanism and that which increasingly alienates us from ourselves and others. Look for any incongruent thoughts, words, or actions holding you in suspension. This will help you identify any form of wishful expectation playing out in your life. It can be helpful to observe what your heart has to say about your current state of emotional, mental, and physical well-being, as well as the environment and company you keep. Journal what comes up for you while lovingly acknowledging if you have been in denial over any unwanted area, compulsion, or person in your life. If some facet of your present only seems to be what you want and comes at compromising cost, please be assured that there will be and is another way. It's possible to genuinely and self-lovingly progress in your desired direction by alternate means. It's okay if some form of external help or support is needed to do things differently and in a way that maintains your integrity. There is no shame in reaching out and asking for all that you need when it is of true and empowering benefit to you. Mother's message. Congruency is always the liberating key to every fulfillment that you seek. Transparency creates the space for receiving the reality rather than the illusion of your wishes being fulfilled. So the one thing I was hearing all throughout this reading, and your team is like really loud and in my face, I'm just saying, very loud, is, and I lost my train of thought. The one thing they keep saying, I keep hearing like future fake, future fake. I don't know if someone is future faking you or if you're future faking yourself. The thing here is it boils down to being comfortable and self-preservation, because I feel like with self-preservation, it's like, even if we know something deep down inside in our gut, our instinct, we know that we're right. We know something's happening, but we can't tangibly prove it. For example, this is just an example. I'm not saying this is happening. Good. I usually do because it's not me, it's spirit. So say that you know for an absolute fact your significant other is cheating. And you're a woman, but you can't confront them because if you do, like, they're going to want, well, how do you know that? Oh, well, I have a feeling. Great. You're going to sound like a psycho and they're going to use that to make you sound crazy and make you think you're crazy and flip it around. Here's the thing. Don't be so comfortable in your denial that you're stopping your life from moving forward. Because when we're living inauthentically, meaning allowing, people to future fake us, allowing ourselves to remain in a comfortable situation, even if it's toxic, abusive, we're neglected, it's easier to stay in the neglectful relationship than it is to save up money, find a place, pay a month rent and 2 months security up front, move all of our stuff, it is much easier physically, but mentally, emotionally, energetically, psychically, spiritually, it is much easier to do what's harder physically. Okay. This card is asking you for the next week or two to step out of your comfort zone in some area or with some person in your life and express your knowledge of what you really know, whether you have tangible proof or not. Okay. Or if you feel like someone's been, lying to you, or if you feel, it's time to accept the reality of what's really going on. Okay. And not keep trying to convince yourself that everything's going to miraculously get better. How are things going to get better if nobody's even accepting the fact that something is wrong, even though everyone knows it? Take the first step. Initiate the conversation, initiate the action, the growth, the moving forward in the next week or two. It's going to be terrifying, probably. It's going to probably cause some awkward, uncomfortable conversation or movement. But I feel like this has to do with a person. And I feel like this person, at the end of the day, deserves and needs to be confronted. Somebody needs to put this person's foot right. Okay. Because I think they're welcome. I think by now you and everybody else knows that this person is not going to change anything. They're not willing to. So why should you be held hostage by their unwillingness and disingenuousness, if that's even a word? You shouldn't. You are not going to be able to really live your life until you confront the fact that one person is more than likely, or one situation, responsible for at least 75% of your misery and you're not being able to manifest. Take the advice. I tell this to my subscribers all the time. Take the advice that you would give your daughter if she were in the same situation. What advice would you give your daughter in the same situation? Whatever that advice is, take it yourself. That's the only way you're going to see this in a non-biased light from outside of your comfort zone. If your daughter was going through it, what would you tell her to do? Go do that. Who's next? Thank you, Peppa. I procrastinated on my reading advice, my Gemma reading advice, but it changed my life. Thank you, Gemma. You are so welcome, and thank you for that.
Okay, next is Raymond. And Skylight has a question right here.
Strange question. There's no such thing. There's something related to the morning period or sunlight in the morning that touches my soul since I was a child. I don't know how to explain it. Can I know more about it? I mean, I can see if there's something in your reading that I don't know if that would necessarily come up, but I do know that sometimes we're more connected. If you want to email me a little bit like more information, I do know that sometimes we're connected to the more masculine energy, which is the sun. And sometimes people like myself, we're connected to more of the feminine energy of the moon. It doesn't mean man or woman. It's just masculine, feminine energy. And it really does depend on your chart. Do you have your birth chart? If you don't, go to cafeastrology.com, hit free natal report. They'll give you a comprehensive birth chart for free. It's like 70 pages long. It will explain a lot of the whys in your personality and why you feel the way you do, think the things that you do, etc., things like that. Ashley, you're so welcome at any time. I'm not really sure maybe the energy of the sun revives you. Again, some people feel more grounded and revitalized in the morning. Me, I could go all day. Well, I hate outside, but like without being in the sun. I actually ended up with a vitamin deficiency from not getting enough sunlight and started losing all my hair. So some of us are just more drawn to the energy of certain times of day, you know? I would like to have more information before I can actually give you a qualified answer. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, we were talking about Raymond's.
Yes.
Raymond, let's use the shadows and light. Guys, don't forget donations to my PayPal or Cash App, Super Chat, Super Stickers. You guys are still the bulk of my income, so I would appreciate anything that you guys can donate if you can. If you can't, I totally understand. I know you all always do when you can, so definitely not trying to e-beg or push that, just mentioning it. Joy Girl! Don't be sorry for being late. I'm just glad you're here. I'm supposed to be on it too, Melissa Nicole, but I always forget. Okay, Raymond. Okay, yeah, that's enough Red Bull. And I'm switching to 1 Dunkin' Donuts medium coffee tomorrow, and then I will be good for the day. Amara the Menahune. Aloha Healing. Yeah, Edna's not in yet, huh? Card number 19. I hope everyone gets their notification. Guys, just so you know, if you weren't here in the beginning, going forward, starting next week, it's going to be live intuitive oracle every Friday, unless we have a week, obviously, where something comes up, but that'll be the new schedule. It's not going to be sometimes Friday, sometimes Saturday. When is it coming? It's going to be Friday always. Ooh, I like that picture. All right, Raymond. Amara represents the spirit of the tropics. She is warm, sensual, sweet, and laden with gifts for you. She eats fruits and flowers and dances and sings the songs of her ancestors. She is laughter and fresh flowing water and hope and warmth. She is at home in the world outside in a nature filled with the sound of dolphins, the music of waterfalls, the song of the warm breeze. There are also many sweet aromas when she comes to you, and she wishes for you to slow down and relax and to take your time and smell the frangipanis. There is no rush when Amara comes into your world. She knows that while you feel rushed, you're not eating right, nor digesting properly, nor connecting deeply, nor sleeping well, nor feeling fully. You are barely noticing the beauty of nature both within and outside of you. So it's time to treat yourself to some relaxation of the Hawaiian kind when she comes to visit, and embrace the aloha spirit. Amara the Menehune speaks. Aloha, it is time for a guilt-free time out for you when you will invite the energy of Hawaii and more self-nurturing into your life. Raymond, it's time to discover and fade out those voices that say you must always work hard and be stressed to achieve what it is you wish for. I am of a time and place where time moves in its own way, where you are at one with the natural world and where your body and soul are intertwined in unison and singing the most beautiful songs. You need the power of sunshine on your body. Please give yourself a sun bath, a natural, energetic healing of pure golden light, and feel the radiance warm your bones and fill you with joy. Thank you, Miss Smoochie. Divination message. Amara has come, and so it is time to begin to eat more fresh fruits, drink healthful juices and smoothies, take dance lessons, have a tropical bath with flower petals, and bring the energy of a waterfall into your life. Kahuna massage and bodywork is powerful for you, and Amara makes her gentle, powerful presence felt. She also responds well to dancing, joyful exercise, singing, and music. There may be relaxation and healing traditions within your ancestry you need to investigate. Take a vacation and journey to a soulful place. By taking this approach and devoting yourself to it, you can expect renewed health and a positive new attitude as well. Above all, it's time to connect to the power of sunshine in gentle, soulful ways. Surfing and ocean swims will be most beneficial at this time. So, Raymond, all of this is well and good, but I don't particularly like messages where it's telling you to, eat differently or be holistic. Like, I don't think that authors should ever like that. That is a specific message that should never be put in a book where people are only reading the book's message. I'm offended by it, to be honest with you. If it resonates with you, that's wonderful. And I think one of the reasons I'm kind of offended by the author putting so much of their opinion in it is because it doesn't resonate with me. And I know I'm like very unhealthy right now physically. But here's the thing, whether you do all those things or agree with all those things, or like Miss Pixie loves the message from that card, like, yes, go for it. Do you? I feel like the main message here, though, from your guides is that you definitely need to start doing more for yourself, not in a selfish way. Like I always say all the time, self-care is like the least selfish thing we can do for ourselves because it fills us up so that we are able to help other people, so that we are able to give more. Because if we're not filling ourselves up, who's going to do it? People just take and take and take nowadays. Lotus Girl, go do you, honey. Love you. You guys are in my prayers. It's about pampering yourself. Absolutely. And
Night,
understanding
Lotus.
that you're worth that. You're worth just as much effort or more than you're willing to give the person you love the most or the people that depend on you the most. Okay? You're worth saying, you know what? I could stay late at work tonight, but instead I'm going to go home and swim in my pool. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, it's like always about water. I want to go swimming. I want to be in the ocean. I want to be on the beach. But whatever it is for you, you're not taking enough time out for yourself. You're not giving yourself enough attention. And your energetic stores are low. I mean, it's not that you're like depressed or like sitting in a dark corner, but spending some time out in the sun is definitely going to recharge and re-energize you. That's a very specific message that we can all gain from, right? Taking a pantomiming a sun bath, reconnecting to with your masculine energy. I was just talking about feminine and masculine energy. If you don't really know much about that, look it up. It actually can be very interesting, ways you can connect more to your masculine energy. I think just putting your foot down and drawing that line between like in the next week or two, deciding that you are the most important, not in a selfish way. Like you're not going to spend your last money on fast food for yourself when your kids don't have groceries at home. That's not what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about the little things that make you happy. Splurge on yourself. Dedicate something to yourself. And know that you're worth it. The thing is to do it guilt-free. You may also, I think you just said you're diabetic. This could also have to do with your health, like keep an eye on your sugar. I'm sure you do that anyway, but especially like in the next week or two, that there aren't any problems or issues there. Hey, Pammy girl.
Okay.
That's
You ready?
definitely interesting, Skylight. So you could have previous lifetimes with the Fae. You could have Fae ancestry or DNA. If you want to email me, I would love to talk to you privately about that. Unless someone else in the chat like wants to, might have an answer for you. I've got some ideas, but I have a lot of research on the Fae, on past lives, on all that stuff, to better be able to connect with what you're saying and give you, the most accurate information possible, or at least what I think it's most likely to be.
Okay. Next is Richard Elmore, then Mark, and then we'll do the new person, Scott.
All right, Richard, I'm going to use the Sacred Forest Oracle.
And I will be right back.
Okay. I know, Raymond. I know it's not easy. I know. But listen, you have to be your biggest champion, your biggest support system. I know there's a lot of times where I know that like I have to support myself the most. And then there's that little part of me that's like, you shouldn't have to. You have plenty of loved ones. And like, I don't have to. That's just my team like pushing me to like give more to myself, to pay better attention to my health and how many Red Bulls I'm drinking a day, how much I'm smoking a day, meaning nicotine. Nothing against any of y'all who smoke anything else, but I just smoke nicotine. I just need to let that be known publicly. It's like we don't give ourselves the same love and attention and care that we give everyone around us. And some of us are not getting that from other people, from other sources. So who else is going to do it? That's the thing. You don't want to disappoint anyone. But how disappointed are the people that depend on you going to be when your physical health is suffering and you're, God forbid, hospitalized, or something happens to you where you can no longer give, all because you didn't take this time to take care of yourself. That's how you have to look at it. If you don't fill up your own cup, nobody else is going to. Richard, Air Spirit, the card of knowledge, and it's card number 1. Skylight, you're so welcome. I can't wait to hear from you. Don't do it for anyone else. Do it for yourself, for sure. Richard, you receive this card when you need to think things through. This is not the time to be impulsive. Do not react instinctively to situations and people. Take into consideration all points of view. Do your research. Listen to others. Speak your truth. Take time to weigh the pros and cons of a situation. It's an excellent time to begin a new venture or project. It will succeed as long as you are thoughtful, organized, and focused. There is a remarkable wellspring of wisdom within you. Take a breath, slow and deep, and delve into that inner knowledge. It will guide you in the right direction. Air represents wisdom or mental activity and our ability to reason. It's also associated with thoughts, intellect, communication, and comprehension. Through our breath, we can speak and express ourselves. Our lives begin with our first breath, so air is connected with new beginnings. The spirit of air oversees friendship, clarity, and positive focus on life. The spirit of air says, take a moment to think things through. Think as well as feel the right direction. Get clarity and become focused before stepping forth. Take care to have thoughtful communication with others. So, okay, Richard, I do see some sort of conflict coming in the next week or two. If it hasn't already hit your life, give me a second. I dropped the card. And after this, I'm going to run to the potty real quick. That dang Stanley. Also, I forgot to take my medicine. So, okay. Sorry. I'm not even tired. There's some sort of conflict here. And I feel like you already you're in the right. And what's right. You know what's wrong. You know that there's no in between here. Whatever this is, though, the universe is telling you to take a moment to think about it. Do not, no matter how goated you are, I feel like somebody is trying to get you to react a certain way so they can point the finger and say, look, I have people in my life that do that. They'll see me on YouTube family members who knew like the old Gemma, and they'll purposely pick at me and dig at me and press my buttons for months before finally I explode, start cursing and like screaming. And then they'll like videotape me and be like, look at Miss Be Kind. Oh yeah, all she talks about is being kind, but look at her go. Meanwhile, what they don't post or put out there is that they've been goading me to behaving this way, to reacting in this way for months. Doesn't make it right that I reacted that way though, because I can't blame them really. I should always be self-aware enough to take the time to stop and think. And that's what I see happening here. Bye, Pammy. Love you. That it's like you're to the point with something or someone where either you're like fed up or you just don't want to hear it anymore. There's something happening here where it's there's just a big conflict. Okay, whatever it is, Richard. And this is you not overthinking. This is you knowing, saying what you mean, meaning what you say, but taking the time before you address this person or this situation so that you don't behave in a way that you're going to look back and regret. Because there's a very big chance that that's going to happen in the next week or two if you don't stop and think, okay, where is this going? Why is this person behaving in this way? You do have the upper hand, but if you're impatient and just want to get the last word or just want to, be right or let it be known you're right, you're going to come out on the bottom, not on top, because that is not how the universe expects you to be behaving at this point. You are much more spiritually aware than others around you who are involved in this situation. Even if it's only one person, you're spiritually higher than them. Doesn't mean better than them, just means more spiritually elevated. So the universe is putting it on you to be the one that thinks it through, to not have reactive responses. Take the next week or two, remove yourself from the situation as best as you possibly can. If it's someone at work, obviously you can't stop going to work for 2 weeks, but stay as far away from this person, the situation as possible until you can calm yourself, start thinking clearly again without overthinking, and address whatever or whoever this is in a more energetically upscale manner. I'll be right back, guys. Hey, Jarvis, my favorite gerbil milker.
Actually, Chris, I've been keeping an eye out. They're all around us, but they're either north of us, I think. But there's nothing showing up on my radar that's saying that we're under tornado warnings. I know we're under a tornado watch, but it's not saying anything. I think they're around us, but not near us. Hey, Chris Jarvis, Ashley Basil Davis, that's my daughter. She lives out in Kansas. They had tornadoes there the other day, and she's going to probably get hit again today or sometime, or she'll get snow in the next 24 hours. You're welcome, Richard. I'll make sure she sees that when she comes back. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, all I've seen here so far is just lightning. When it's not even raining here, I don't think. But I know there's tornado warnings out there. Now, yeah, Cleveland's getting hit now. Yeah, I know that. I saw that on the radar earlier because every so often I go and check it. That's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm having a rough day, so body's decided that it's going to go AWOL on me. So I'm just trying to keep my mind busy so I don't get all goofy on everybody. But, I've been through a tornado down there in Cincinnati, Chris, when Harrison got hit. So, and tornadoes don't bother me unless I know it's super close. We have a basement, so we're good. Oh, thanks, Mark.
Okay, who's next?
Next is Mark, and Raymond and Richard says thank you.
You're welcome, guys. Thank you for coming in. Mark, I'm going to use the Archangel Animal deck.
You are now, Raymond? We got them all around us, but no warnings here yet.
We don't usually get them here. Sometimes, like where my mom lives, we'll get them, but I don't pay attention to them, honestly.
Yeah, I'm having a kind of a rough day. My body decided to go AWOL, and it did big time.
All right, Mark, you got the parrot. Listen intently to understand. Archangel Bakpi. Thank you, Peppa. I like it. Thank you. When you receive this card, Mark, you are being asked to listen with your heart and soul in order to understand what people are really saying. Use all of your senses to note what they are truly imparting and what is going on inside of them. You may discover more than you thought possible. You are also being reminded that the archangels work through color. When you wear a bright color or choose one for your home or workplace, the angels can radiate their light and their lessons through that vibration. You're on earth to learn everything you can while in a physical body. So take every opportunity that appears and hone your gifts and demonstrate them whenever you can. So I feel like there could be some misunderstandings coming up in the next week or two for you, Mark, where you're either taking what someone else says the wrong way or someone else is taking what you say the wrong way. And I feel like the universe feels like you're the one in this situation who can who's the one that's going to be aware of it, right? So now you know, like if you immediately take something wrong and you're like, why would that person say that to me? You're going to stop and think now, like, oh yeah, that's right. My team said that I've got to really stop and think about things before I react. It's kind of like what I said to Richard, but it is a little different. So the universe is telling you that while there may be people in the past who have kind of played with your emotions, manipulated your kindness, and who would say things they didn't mean just to get on your good side or say what they felt you wanted them to say, etc. You don't have much of that going on in your life right now. It's like you've weeded out a lot of the quote unquote bad, the bad people for your energy who are great somewhere else. So don't automatically assume anything as far as what's being said to you, what's being told to you. You could be receiving some false information or, not realizing it, but listening to gossip. Like someone tells you it as though it's a fact, like they saw it with their own eyes when really they heard it fifth hand from like some dude on the street named Bucky. I don't know. Like there's a chance that you're going to be receiving false information. Somebody's doing this purposefully because they want to see you react. They want to see what your response is going to be. So just like I was talking about before, they can turn around and be like, oh yeah, Mark, well, he said this. So you're going to find yourself being like, why would that person say that B word? And the next thing you know, the person who never said that at all only knows that you called them a B word. Now this drama is started. Do you understand? Believe only half of what you see and none of what you hear in the next week or two. Give it about 2 weeks before the air clears and this bully or whatever, like this annoying person, this liar, this manipulator moves on to their next victim because you're not playing their game. Don't be rude. If you know, like you're going to flat out know now because this was brought up that somebody is BSing you. Whereas if this wasn't brought up, you might have thought maybe, but there is a chance. Just keep everything friendly, keep everything simple, and don't react or respond to any news or information until you have tangible evidence, factual proof, until you spoke or got the information straight from the horse's mouth. What is up, Netter? Number one, it's Thursday, not Wednesday. And number two, yes, it's just a one-off because I'm helping my mom move this weekend. So it's her last weekend at her house, and I'm not going to have time to stream. But going forward, we are only going to be doing Oracle on Fridays. So this is the last week of like the mismatch setup. And then it's going to be live intuitive Oracle on Friday nights every week, unless something comes up. Have been warned that several tests are coming. Yeah, and they are. This is definitely one of them to see if you're going to follow your gut instinct, which is to wait before reacting, get a little more information, dig a little bit deeper, or if you're going to just believe what somebody's saying to you for the sake of you've been able to maybe believe them before, so why not, and ends up causing all this chaos. No problem. I'm only messing with you, Netter. Who's next?
Skylight. Go ahead and knock the news person out of the way. And then we're back to the list.
Skylight, are you female? I only ask so I can better pick, like resonate with your energy. You guys are so welcome. Because some decks, like Wild Woman Oracle, are not for the males. I'm being pulled to that deck, so that's why I'm kind of assuming.
Are they still here?
I don't know. Skylight, if you're still here, let us know. Who's after Sky?
After Sky is Pixie.
I'm going to read for Miss Pixie, and when Skylight answers, if they answer, they may have went to go email me. They might be back. We'll read for them. All right, Miss Pixie, I'm using Wild Woman. Blessed Yule, the card of hope. Card number 6. Melissa Nicole, I was going to put some up of me doing yoga because I thought that it would help you guys, like beginners, not that all of you are beginners, but those of you that are, to see that when I say I do yoga, it's messy. It's not pretty. I'm very shaky. I, sometimes curse. I'm a little bit stubborn. I'm all over the place, but I still do it and I still get through it. And I thought that it would make you guys feel more comfortable if I put a few of those videos out of the 15 to 20 minute workouts I do, and you guys can follow along with me. So I am thinking of doing that. I have to download Down Dog onto my computer so I can use my phone to film it, but that is coming in the next few weeks. Stop yawning. I'm not even tired. Okay, Miss Pixie, though I may be currently, and though you may, it's in the eye, but I always read it as if it's yours. Though you may be currently enduring a difficult situation or season in your life, what rays of hope can you focus on to remind yourself of your own inner light and resilience? Yoga schedule's flawless. I believe it. Regardless of the time of year you literally find yourself in, Yule, an often bitterly cold and dark Sabbath, urges you to seek your own internal light and remember that seasons of darkness and hardship are always eventually succeeded by seasons of joy and ease. Even if your external circumstances seem too difficult to overcome at this time, rekindle the knowledge that nothing can dim the eternal flame within your spirit. Lara, in the pagan wheel of the year, Yule, celebrated on the winter solstice, is the Sabbath that begins the year and marks the return of the sun. To celebrate, give thanks, and appease the nature spirits, often known as the Fae. Are you done?
I'm sorry, I thought I had my mic.
You usually mute that. I'm like, he's never coughed before. To celebrate, give thanks, and appease the nature spirits, often known as the Fae, candles were lit, an ash or oak log was burned, wreaths of holly and mistletoe were hung, and evergreen trees, the only trees that remain lushly green during the dark half of the year, while all the other trees die, were decorated with strings of shiny beads, colored cloth, and sweet treats. To many ancient peoples, including the Celts, Yule symbolized the rebirth of the sun god or the horned god by the great goddess, and as the turning point of the season, it was the literal start of the gradual renewal of nature's fertility and bounty. While the god, the sun, is still weak in his infancy, and the goddess, Mother Earth, having just given birth, must rest from her labor, Yule brings hope of the returning light. And that is true, because if you think about Yule, right, a lot of people, not everybody, don't come for me, come for me if you want, Christmas season, that time of year is a very, for most people, most of the time, a fresh and just wonderful feeling of joy and happiness and peace a lot of the time. Of course, it depends on what we're going through and where we're at, but for the most part with me, like no matter what I'm going through, that time of year is really something special. Miss Pixie, I feel like you're not giving this is the same reading over and over again, and I'm so sorry for that, but it's all you. I feel like you're just not giving yourself enough credit. For every time you give yourself a pat on the back, it's like you give yourself, what's the opposite of compliment? What is the opposite of compliment?
Insult.
You criticize yourself 10 times. Insult. You insult, you know what I mean? It's like you just cannot accept how fabulous you are. And I feel like no matter how many people tell you are, or how, how good you're doing, or how much you're helping, it's like there's just something holding you back from really accepting it. And I do feel that it's a little bit of fear. It's fear of, if I reach my pinnacle now, where do I go from there? But the universe is saying you are nowhere near, for as fantabulous as you're doing, you're nowhere near the top of your game or the top of your success. You have so much more to learn, and you know that, and you invite it. So why are you being so hard on yourself? You're looking at, just for instance, just an example, your stream that you do for an hour on this channel twice a month. And everyone's saying how amazing it is, but you're picking out the one time where, you didn't hear a question someone asked, or you miss saying hi to somebody. Like all of these little things that at the end of the day don't matter because you helped so many people. You want to be hard on yourself for everything. Here's the thing. Nobody is ever held accountable for every little thing. And the only person that can do that to us is us. This is the universe wanting you to do a cleansing, whether it's the Yule tradition rituals, or whether it's just a spring cleaning in March, right? And really cleanse your energy of any negativity. Do your best to stay away from negative people, those negative voices and opinions, always intruding on the most positive of thoughts. I can have 6,000 good comments, and one comment that's like, you're ugly, will make me cry in the corner, thinking that I should never be on YouTube again because I suck at everything and I'm a horrible person who's also ugly. I don't know why. I think it's just human nature. But you have to be gentler on yourself and stop expecting so much from yourself when you don't expect a tenth of that from other people. In the next week or two, the universe wants you to not only pamper yourself, but to go out of your way to be kinder to yourself, to be more loving and more giving, to give yourself the grace that is on offer and display to every single person that comes into your orbit. And then continue on. Sure, we all have our bad days, but you are not progressing the way that you should be, or that you really want to be, and manifesting the things you really want to be manifesting at this time, because you are being too critical of yourself. Give yourself grace, give yourself mercy, give yourself a break. Need Cheese, hi, I love the name, welcome. Coming in with that good energy, yeah. Let the ads play and smash that like button. Yeah, the ads won't play until after. They don't actually play while we're in chat, I don't think. Do they? The ads don't play live. Do they?
Sometimes they do. Yes, they do. Sometimes. If you're not
Guys, have you ever been in here in chat and like they cut me off from talking to show you an ad? No, they don't do that. Not live. I'm not sponsored. I don't do ads. No.
That's true.
Yeah, okay. No. Nobody's sponsoring me yet.
I'm sorry. It'll come. It will come. Just give it time. Be patient. Juan, are you here? If not, we're going to go ahead and do Smoochie.
Area 51.
So Skyline didn't answer and Juan didn't answer. So we'll just go ahead and do Smoochie. And if they come in before 10, I'll try to slide them in. Actually, Roger, you're coming up here after Ralph. So if Ralph is still here, let me know. And then you, Roger. So you are coming up.
All right. So I'm doing Smoochie now. Ralph, if you're here, let us know. And then it'll be Roger if Ralph's not here. If Ralph is here, it'll be Smoochie, Ralph, Roger. I won't remember that. Smoochie, I'm going to use... I'm going to use the Halloween Oracle for you. I love you too, Miss Pixie. You know how sometimes we like can look at people and forget that they have problems. You know, like I just look at you and I think of how amazing and incredible you are and how spiritually connected you are and just how peaceful your energy and vibe is. And like I can't imagine that you have the same problems that we all do. Do you know what I mean? Did you guys ever look at someone like that where you don't, it's not that you don't see them as human, you know they're human, you know they're flawed, but you just look at them like, oh well, they're so amazing. Like they have to know that they're not putting up with any poop from anyone because they know how awesome they are. It's just, I don't know. That's how I look at you. All right, we can timestamp her. She did say that. She never asks, so thank you for letting us know. You got Hearth, and what would it be a night that I'm using the Halloween Oracle that Hearth did not come up? Happiness in our hearts and homes. Oh, I wanted to show you guys my St. Patty's Day nails. Green and pink. You can't even really see the pink, but green and pink. My two favorite colors. Okay. Miss Smoochie Girl. The ancient Romans believed that every home had a heart and it was the hearth. Where the fire burned, the family gathered for sustenance, communication, and protection. This concept was so important to the culture that there was a huge city hearth, the Vestal Temple, where the fire of the home goddess Vesta burned forever without ever going out. This sacred flame was protected by the soldiers with their very lives should there have been an invasion. The place where the goddess Vesta was honored within every ordinary home was also the hearth, and it is where women prepared food and cooked. Some of the food was always offered back into the fire as an offering to Vesta for her blessing and protection. Often husbands were sent away on military duty for years on end, and their wives at home were not just expected to keep the home and often the businesses running, but to wait for their husbands faithfully until their return. They prayed to Vesta to ensure their family members' safe return and to keep the fires of love stoked. The saying, keep the home fires burning, was inspired by this practice. Should the hearth card appear in your divination, hey, Heather, it's okay. You are being asked to look to your idea of what home and family is for you. Take the time to build up your quote unquote love fire and have it burning brightly. Your love fire, Smoochie. Rawr. Make your relationships a priority. If there is conflict within your home and family, it's time to take concrete steps to address the issues for good. If you or a member of your family is away from home due to travel or work, know that protection is being given. So, Smoochie, yeah, this is a lot to unpack simply because I don't know specifically, but I know there's a lot going on with so many of us right now, but with you too, like at home. What this card is saying is we all have to be accountable. Whether we mean to hurt someone, whether we mean to piss someone off, whether we mean to be annoying, we all are some of the time. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's always graceful. Nobody's always kind, right? We get angry. We're humans. We say mean things sometimes that we don't mean. Even Ghostdragonzw does it, believe it or not. One time he said a mean thing to me that I think just kind of came out because he was just having a bad day, and it shocked us, and he's still apologizing for it, even though it happened in October. Or November. I bring it up because he's like the sweetest guy, but he still has his moments and he still has his days.
And I felt so bad too.
He's the best example of it. It happens to all of us. But here's the thing. Even when I'll jokingly talk about the old Gemma before my spiritual awakening, before I aligned with my path and moved into my abilities of my mission of helping others however I could, sometimes people still treat me as if I'm that person, and I allow them to, right? I give them what they want. I behave in that way. Not nearly as bad, I'm not physically hurting people, but I give them that. That's the role they want me to play. That's the buttons you want to push. You got it. I don't really do this a lot anymore, but it does come out every once in a while. What I'm trying to say is in those moments, we have to be accountable to ourselves and to everyone around us. With most people, an apology will really go a long way. And I'm not saying all of this is your fault at all. I don't know whose fault it is, but I do know that you're being asked to be the one to extend the olive branch. You're being asked, because this is your reading, to be the one to look deep inside of yourself and see which role you play. We all play a role, even if someone else is playing a bigger role. Complacency, being comfortable, allowing others to treat us a certain way. Guess what? That's still playing a role in our own victimization because we're taking it. Smoochie, I feel like this is you wanting badly enough to bring peace to either your home or wherever this is, to whatever relationship or situation this is. Hi, Norma. Are you with our Raymond in chat? I'm only asking because he talks about a girlfriend a lot.
I was going to ask the same question.
Yeah, because he's always talking about his girlfriend. But if not, that's okay too. Either way, welcome. But Smoochie, I do feel like you're being asked to look deep inside of yourself, figure out where you're going wrong. Are you perpetuating the agitation by not just saying, okay, you're right, whatever, and walking away? Or, you know, what are you doing to possibly be continuing this on? Now, you can only do so much. You can only look deep inside of yourself and go up to a person and say, hey, I didn't like the way you treated me, but I shouldn't have reacted in that way. Or I don't like this decision, but I could have handled that better. Once you do that, I feel like you're going to get a better understanding of who's really on your team and who isn't. Okay. Because if somebody's going to turn around and say, well, you should be sorry because, and then list all of your faults, that's not someone on your team, honey. And as hard as that might be for you to recognize, it's a good lesson to learn because then you can do something about it. Now, if the person accepts your apology, don't expect anything more. Don't expect them to put in the work that you're putting in. You're being asked to do this work for your own reasons. And only your team and guides, and maybe you know why. Maybe you don't know. In the next week or two, look deep inside of yourself. Watch the way you're reacting to other people's anger and misery. You're letting yourself be sucked right on in there. And that is not a good look for you. Yes, we all know you're silly, feisty, smoochy, but I don't believe that's how you are all the time. You know, I know you have a heart. I know you're loving. I see it in the way you talk about and are showing me pictures of your grandkids and how much you love them. You have a beautiful soul. You've just been through a lot and you're a weirdo Aquarius. I mean, what else can it be? But all of these conflicts and confrontations and arguments and all this stress and stuff in your house, you could lessen it at the very least for yourself. Because listen, once you apologize and get that off your chest, there's no more for you to do. Then it's everyone else's turn. Stay in that measure of apology for the next 2 weeks and see how much better you feel taking accountability, detaching, and not being involved anymore. And if it's something you absolutely have to be involved in, be involved as little as possible until other people are willing to accept their part in it. Okay, so I guess Ralph isn't here, so let's do Roger.
Okay. And yes,
Roger,
Edna was in chat last night. She might be resting or busy. So
Roger, I'm going to use Anne Stokes Gothic. A Zodiac Muggle, yes. So it was really cute. RJ had this little drawing thing he does in school. And for New Year's Eve, his resolution was to help me clean the house. And he drew a little picture of him vacuuming. And then he did another one. It was like, what does your mommy do? And he drew a picture of me with a book. It said she's a best-selling author. And then it was like, what is your ideal pet? He draws a TV for like to play his video game, a dragon on a leash with like tan colored hair. The dragon has Ghostdragonzw hair. It's his pet dragon. Do you remember I showed you the picture? I think you were in a bad spot at that. You never really responded. But he's like, I have a pet dragon.
yeah, it made my day.
That's
he
funny.
Cracks me up.
I said, "You're."
Is that why he's calling me his pet and when we're playing? Come here, my pet.
Oh, it's so funny. Okay, Roger, you got Blue Moon. Yeah, it was the cutest thing. Okay, so Roger, this is the card of luck. Beneath the moon, a girl and her unicorn companion bathe in the blue light. Within the dark forest, Wildlife can be seen. In this opportune moment, an owl wings his way through the trees. A blue moon is considered a rarity, bringing to mind the popular expression once in a blue moon. In actuality, it's the name given to the appearance of a second full moon in one calendar month. On average, a blue moon occurs every 2.5 years. Because of the infrequency of the event, this card is connected to luck and the seemingly impossible becoming possible. When its magnificent glow lights a reading, it suggests that you will become the beneficiary of prosperity. This occurrence, however, may not be expected, since the card, like the blue moon, is out of the ordinary. Luck is on your side, Roger. Fortune will favor you, and you'll likely be in the right place at the right time. Surprise opportunities and random synchronicities are part of this card's message. Whether you find a little extra than you thought in your bank account this month or meet with someone who could positively change your life. This is you opening up to the idea of being lucky, right? I don't believe in luck, but I do believe that sometimes fortuitous situations fall upon us, right? And we can control how often that happens. It's just a lot of us don't have the energy to sit around trying to manifest being lucky all day. Roger, in the next week or two, pay very close attention to the opportunities that are coming in, because something that you never would have thought of before, like there's an opportunity. I can see you being like, 6 months ago, you'd have been like, nah, I'm not getting involved in that. Now you might be more willing to take these advantageous risks. I'm not talking about dangerous risks, but take these risks that 6 months ago, you didn't feel like you were in a position to take. This is not about engaging in risky behavior. This is about a business opportunity, some sort of romantic proposition, something where there is a risk that you might be taking, but now is the time to take the risk, because you are going to come out, lucky side up. It's like this was specifically meant for you. Now, in order to have things like this come in, we have to be vibrating pretty high, and know that things are going to be okay. Things are good, counting our blessings. But also we have to be aware of the people around us and the situations we find ourselves in. So if you're not leaving the house, if you're like me and you work from home, you never leave the house except to grocery shop, maybe once a month, because it's easier to send your husband and then you don't have to leave the house. And you also don't go outside. Probably not going to get many opportunities falling into your lap. Maybe, depending on what you're doing, right? The point is, you've got to put action behind them. You have to take the necessary steps to be in the presence of someone who could offer you, your dream job or a promotion. Keep doing the next right thing. And when something comes along that seems too good to be true, at least in the next week or two, I'd give it 2 months, month or two, I'd say. Know that at this point in time, it's not too good to be true. It actually is, okay? It is what it is. Take the opportunity. You're not going to regret it.
Okay, since a couple people haven't answered, we're going to go ahead and do Melissa, Nicole. Then John P., if you're still here, if you want a reading, let me know.
Life with Bobby. I'm just calling some people who didn't answer, who we haven't said out loud yet.
I was just getting ready to say thank you.
All right. I'm using the Black Moon Lilith. This is still one of my favorite decks right now. I'm just super duper connected to it. The messages are very crisp and clear. You're welcome, Roger, and good luck. Not that you'll need it. It's a very fortuitous, lucky, for lack of a better word, time for you in the next couple of months. As long as you're doing the next right thing and keeping a positive view as best you can. Okay, Life with Bobby. If you want a reading, though, now would be the time. Up to you. All right, Melissa. Guys, don't forget personal, general, remote, personal, intuitive oracle readings where you don't have to do anything except give me your name and birthday and your email address are $20. If you want a more in-depth or a video face-to-face with me, an hour to hour and a half, ask questions, specifically a love money reading, those types of things, the prices do go up, but a general remote 7 to 10 card reading, I'm still taking for April. I've got 3 slots left for April before I start taking for May. Let me know. Autographed copies of my books. I'm working on the book Gone, Mysterious Disappearances, which is about those really mysterious ones, like people going missing while climbing up the side of a mountain at 3,900 feet or 39,000 feet. Where did he go? I don't know. Where'd he go? And I'm also putting supernatural speculation into the book. So from my paranormal view, what do I think is most likely that happened to these people? I did a whole intro talking about not meaning to be disrespectful to the families or to add to their pain, all that stuff. But I feel like this side needs to be explored. People are disappearing literally from turning a corner in the forest, you know, and it's not just disappearances in the woods. It's just missing persons cases, some off cruise ships and walking down public sidewalks, disappearing from school, all that. Yeah, Bobby's here, but she may not want a reading, Melissa. Melissa, this is you. Thank you, sweetie. Mark, you're so sweet. Okay, I don't think I've pulled this card yet. Mercury, communication and truth, card number 24. I hope Mike Roberts, are you still here? Melissa, when the Mercury Oracle card appears, it's time for you to tap into the alchemy of your thoughts, speech, and the written word. All is mind, and your words are the spells that fashion the masterpiece of your reality. This is the hermetic universal law called mentalism, and a powerful manifestation practice to integrate during your own alchemical journey. Your thoughts and words create the frequency and vibration that attracts people, places, and things into your life. When you receive this card in an oracle reading, the opportunity to speak publicly or step into the spotlight is coming. Be confident in your voice and don't be afraid to share your ideas with the world. Your power to manifest is increasing. Harness it by channeling your thoughts in the direction of your dreams. Mercury is the messenger, master communicator, wordsmith, and cosmic magician. The planet Mercury is associated with the Greek god Hermes, known as Thoth in Egypt. Hermes or Thoth was the scribe of the gods, the patron of writing, learning, intelligence, astrology, magic, and alchemy. In astrology, Mercury represents communication, thought, and speech. It is the closest planet to the sun and the fastest moving planet in the solar system. It rules over the air sign of Gemini and the earth sign of Virgo. Gemini rules over the social side of Mercury, while Virgo is more analytical. Mercury in your chart determines how you channel information from your imagination into the physical world. Look at your unique birth chart to identify where your Mercury lies to understand how your mind processes information. So again, this is going by birth chart. If your Mercury is in Aries, it's verbal leadership, Taurus, creative wordsmith, Gemini, verbal genius, Cancer, emotional communicator, Leo, expressive thinker, Virgo, analytical wizard, Libra, balanced discussion, Scorpio, intuitive thought, Sagittarius, broad perspective, Capricorn, realistic and grounded, Aquarius, logical intelligence, and Pisces, emotion and feeling. You don't need to, well, you're a sun Gemini, but this is your Mercury. So you don't need to know where your Mercury is to get this reading, but I would suggest going and looking it up and getting a birth chart done. Okay. And I'm not selling them. They're free on Cafe Astrology. I would sell them if I could, because I know how to do them, but one birth chart would probably take me like 3 months to do, where Cafe Astrology, it takes less than 3 seconds. So, okay. You are a magician and your words are your wand. Unlock the power of your thoughts. Melissa, this is all about you. Finally, we have a reading that's focusing on Melissa and not the toxic relationship. That doesn't mean it's not still there and you're not still dealing with that, okay? What this is saying is, how do you want your next few months to go? How do you want your next few years, the rest of your life to go? Because this is a time for you, you're totally in control, especially if you're a Gemini sun, okay? Instead of overthinking, overanalyzing, picking apart everything everyone says, how about in the next week or two, follow your gut and take someone at their word. Believe what someone says to you. Okay. I know that's really hard with everything you've been through, and I can definitely relate. I feel like the more you start telling the universe what your life is like, the more your life will start looking like that. Okay. All of this complaining and being in the drama and focusing on the negative, which we all do. So I'm not judging you or making an indictment. The more the universe is going to respond. Okay. So where I told you guys, I lost all my income except for donations, I freaked out. And then I was like, I will not worry about money, because here's what would have happened. Am I getting by? Yeah, I'm scraping by. But nothing's bouncing, you know? And here's the thing. Yes, I have a lot of help from a friend, but still, if I had sat there going, oh my God, I don't have enough money. I don't have any money. I don't have any money. Do you know what? The universe would say, you don't have any money, and just give me no money, which I already had in the first place. It's like a constant negative cycle, right? Like a not good relationship. The universe is saying, break out of that mental shackle and start telling yourself in the universe, not the negative that's going on, not the negative about you, not the negative you foresee for yourself, but the positive. I am going to be a millionaire and be, you know, have my name and brand pushed out there with a spiritual retreat and a beach house within the next 9 years. I'm just going to. I know I am. Find something you want to achieve, a goal you want to set for yourself, even if it's really long term, and tell the universe who the F you are, how you're going to get there. And watch, after just a day or two of focusing on the positive and not the negative, on the future instead of the past, on the present instead of the past, how you want things to go versus how they've been going, how you don't want them to go. If you can just switch the thoughts to positive ones, and every thought can be switched to a positive one, believe it or not, it is possible. Come from a place of fulfillment rather than a place of lack, and watch how quickly things start falling into line for you. You are going to feel like the luckiest little B word in the entire world, but it's not luck. You're shifting your vibration from one of lack to one of fortune. Just try it. Trust me. Change what you think about, and you're going to change your life. Oh, of course you do. You're a Gemini. Yes, of course you do. I know.
Okay. Life with Bobby. Did they want a reading?
No.
John P., I saw them in here. Did you want a reading? Peppa, if you're still in here, and Shelly. If you guys want a reading, you need to let us know. And we're going to go ahead. And Mike, I don't know if he's still in here. Eris, we'll go ahead and do Eris until those people speak up.
John P. Adventures, Peppa H., Mike Roberts, and Shelly Montgomery. Speak now or wait until next week for your reading. Eris, I'm going to use the Shaman's Dream. Eris, good. Melissa Nicole, learn to decode what people say. Then you won't have to pick apart what they say. Yes, Munchie, I'm sure you're on the list, sweetie.
Yes, they're actually coming up. So
okay.
If Mike doesn't answer, we'll go ahead and do Munchie. And then we'll do Eris. And
no, I'm already shuffling for Eris.
Okay, cool. Then do Munchie after, then Jules.
Okay, so we're doing Eris, Munchie Chipmunk, and then Jules.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I got screwed up.
Ah, I knew it, Miss Norma. Well, welcome.
And we'll slide you two in here, Norma. Also, is Need Cheese still here? Because I need to know if you want to read.
Okay, so none of those people answered. So, no. Norma, welcome in. We'll be getting to you in a few minutes. So this is Eris, and next will be Munchie. Let's stop there so I don't get confused. All right, Eris, you got card number 60. The Watchers, or Watchers, not the Watchers. Watchers. Transpersonal. Serendipity, the observer/witness, transpersonal. When watchers appear, it is an invitation to stop doing. Pause, get off the treadmill, and take a deep breath. Eris, find the witness within, the one who can observe the fire and fury happening around you, but is not caught up in any of the drama. The time is right to step back. If you have a thought or opinion, keep it to yourself. If you have a feeling that needs to be expressed, do it in the shower. Do not engage with the action happening around you. Just observe. Watchers show up to direct your attention to the horizon and away from the anthill in front of you. Others might think you are simply doing nothing, but let them know that you are helping the sun to set in the evening sky. There are bigger things to attend to. You have spent such a long time trying to correct the course of events and the actions of others. Let it be for a little while as you become the observer rather than the doer. The Watchers invite you to break free from the linear, casual pace of the petty day-to-day, rise to divine coincidence, to serendipity, and notice how the act of seeing the heart of the matter produces results. Things happen without you doing anything. Creation unfolds in its own mysterious way, requiring only a sacred witness. So, okay. Got it itchy. Ghost dragons don't, like, if they're not answering, it's cool. Maybe they'll pop back in, but if anything, we'll be ending at 10 instead of not taking more people. It's a Thursday night. It's an off night for most people. Okay, so Eris, you're doing too much. Okay, and you may not even think that you are, but I feel like you're just too involved with something that you have no business being involved in. And the reason you're involved in it is because maybe you care about somebody that's involved already, that's really in it, or you care about the outcome for some reason. The universe is saying take a step back and just watch how people are behaving. Listen to the things that are said, but don't say anything. Now is not the time to, try to help. Now is not the time to try to hurt. Now is not the time to really do anything. And again, if you have an opinion, keep it to yourself for now. Now is not the time to speak up. Things in this situation need to play out as they're going to play out. And any interference by any outside influence, including yourself, regardless of how much you know that you know the right answer, you know how to fix it, you know how to make it better, you know how to make sure everyone's happy. The universe is like, that is not what this situation needs. This person or these people involved all need to learn major life lessons. And if you step in and fix this for them, they're not going to learn those lessons, and they're just going to have to repeat them and have to go through this same terror over again. It's not a good situation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's something coming in the next week or two. Like, again, for you, it would be something very easy to fix. For the people involved, like in the thick of it, it's not. The universe doesn't even want you to give advice right now. Like, give general advice, but I feel like the universe doesn't want you to be frustrated when someone comes to you for advice. You give them the best advice you got and they go and don't do it anyway, right? Why lower your vibration? Why get agitated, irritated, have all these lower vibrational feelings and thoughts when at the end of the day, it's all for nothing? So take a step back, watch it all play out. And then, you know what? If you want to jump in and help with the aftermath when things just blow up and there's a tower moment for everybody, jump in and do your best. But for now, in the next week or two, do not get involved in anyone else's drama, anyone else's conflict, confrontations, anyone else's mess of any kind. It's just not where you belong right now. You're over here on a hill doing well, looking down, and that's where you belong. Again, if after the explosion you want to go and see if you can help the survivors, that's fine. But for right now, do not get involved. You are going to be the one that ends up hurting. You are going to be the one that ends up losing. And it's all for nothing because nobody is going to take your advice anyway because there's a bunch of know-it-alls involved here. I don't know what this is. That's just the energy I'm getting and what I'm hearing. Munchie Chipmunk. I'm going to use the Celebrity Spirit Oracle. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us. Hey, Anna, we weren't just, but I did ask about you before. Okay, Mama Cindy, thank you for stopping in and hanging out with us. Jules, you're next. Let us know you're still here, please.
Night, Cindy. Have a good one.
Okay, Munchie, you got Linda McCartney. Call in your soulmates. No, Heather, not at all, sweetie. All right, Aunt Edna. So her title, her mission: lover, explorer, partner, entrepreneur, activist. Linda Louise McCartney Eastman was born on the 24th of September, 1941 in Scarsdale, New York, and died on the 17th of April, 1998 of breast cancer. She was an astrological Libra. Linda was an American photographer, musician, entrepreneur, and animal rights activist. She was best known as a vegetarian and the wife of Paul McCartney, one of the famous members of the Beatles, and for her well-known photographs of celebrities and contemporary musicians. Linda also played keyboard and sang vocals with her husband Paul and toured with his groups. You're welcome. Throughout her life, she wrote many cookbooks and inspiring recipes for meatless meals, and also founded the Linda McCartney Foods Company with her husband. When you love your life and friends with passion, anything is possible in this world. When Linda came through in the group seance and spoke to us, she had a very strong feminine energy. It was very likable, as I can imagine she was in life, and everyone loved her. I sensed her as a strong, independent woman with certain views on things, especially her view of the killing of animals. The first thing she mentioned was that Paul was definitely her soulmate and how happy she was in their relationship. One of her greatest loves was her family and, of course, her soulmate, whom she managed to finally find. Linda also said how brilliant and sensitive Paul is, and mentioned very pointedly, because she was there, how it wasn't Paul who broke up the Beatles, but Yoko. This, of course, can be debatable today by fans from both sides. Linda had a very strong, intelligent energy, spoke fondly of her amazing life, and mentioned how important love was in its uniqueness and form. Her motto was to live life to the fullest. Linda said she loved playing in Paul's bands and did it for fun. If you have drawn this card, Munchie, Spirit is telling you very gently to love whatever you do with a passion, and your life and work will flow easily. Once you have the right mindset and dedication, creative energy will flourish and flow easily, and as you are living your true destiny. Like everything in life, anything we put love, dedication, time, and energy into will generally flourish like a beautiful garden full of rich nourishment and colorful blooms. So, okay, so this could be talking about your soulmate, right? And don't get it twisted. We all have many soulmates. Some of my children are my soulmates, some aren't. That doesn't mean I wasn't meant to be their mother. It just means we connect differently. Soulmate, it does not always mean romantic. Twin flame is one person. It's always romantic, and normally it doesn't work out. So it's not that romantical of an idea. What I'm getting more of here is like calling in your team, your soulmates on the other side that make up your spirit team, who I chat with in order to do these readings, who I'm calling in and pulling in and speaking to right now in my head, to help you achieve a dream, a goal. Even if it's a short-term goal of something you want to accomplish in the next few months, there's something here that I feel like you really, really want to do, or you really, really want to be, but you feel like the prospect of it is so overwhelming. You don't know where to start. You don't know where to begin. You don't know. The thing of it is, if you just ask Spirit for help, Spirit will give you help. Whatever this is, this big idea, this vision for your life that you have, that you're holding, it is what's meant to be for you. But you have to put the action behind it. You have to take the actionable steps necessary for however long it takes in order to achieve whatever this is. Our spirit teams, our guides, our angels, except for sometimes our guardian angels in very extreme and rare cases, cannot get involved unless we invite them to. Okay? So if you're not looking in the air and saying, hey, can anybody help me here? You're not going to get any help. I started really connecting on a much better level to my guides and my spirit team, my higher self, by writing. I started writing to them, telling them my hopes, my goals, my dreams. I only recently started doing this when I would be too tired and not able to like really pull in a lot of their energy, but I really needed them to tell me something. And I would get the answers back in my head. Now I'm a medium. That's very easy for me. It may not be easy for you. Do some automatic writing. Okay. I feel like you're just not inviting the right energies in. And also there are people surrounding you that are literally holding you back. Either they're knowingly not allowing you to do certain things, or keeping you focused on other things, telling you, why would you want to go and do that? That's going to be so hard. They're not like pushing you to be your best self, to achieve these goals, to attain these things, because there's fear there. Like if you become whatever this is or achieve whatever this is, you're going to leave them behind. But you know what? That's their BS to deal with. That is not for you to stay stuck, stale, and stagnant in a situation, job, relationship, whatever it is that you want so much more from. Even if it's great, you want more because you don't want to make someone else feel bad. It's almost ridiculous, you know? And again, not a judgment, because we all do this. Focus on what you want, what you have to do next in order to get it, and then go from there. Also, stop taking advice from everyone willing to give it, because I feel like there are too many cooks in your kitchen. You're not getting the right kind of advice. People are giving you advice from a place of fear, giving you advice from a place of jealousy, giving you advice from a place of not giving a poop, just wanting to tell you something. It's just like none of it's coming from a good place. Only accept advice and follow advice given by someone you absolutely trust and who knows who's qualified to give the advice. Otherwise, listen to your guides, listen to your gut. That is how your guides and your team mainly communicate with and through you, is through your instinct, your intuition, your gut feelings, your instinctive hits, intuitive hits. All right, who's next?
Next is Jules. And if you want a reading, I'm sure Gemma will be more than happy to give you one.
Yeah, I know we didn't have that many tonight. One more person's not going to harm me, and you're here on time.
It's almost done.
It's not like you strolled in at 10:30. Of course, I'd love to read for you. If you want one, multifaceted Jules, I'm using the classic horror oracle. I'm a little more subdued because I know RJ is sleeping right below me. That's why I'm a little quieter. He can't hear you. I'm just letting you guys know. It's not like I'm worn out. I'm just trying to keep my tone down so that I don't disturb him.
I bet if I say the F word, he jumps up real fast. Fortnite.
Don't do it. Oh, I'm sorry, Julie girl. Love. Bride of Frankenstein. Directed by James Whale, 1935, in the upright. What does it mean to be made for each other? The impulse to connect with others, strangers, villagers, a special someone, is in its purest form the virtuous ethical basis for participation in human society. That this hopeful impulse may not be reciprocated, may even be rejected, can be a source of great pain. Approach social interactions with an open heart. Yes, it's time to get yourself out there. This doesn't need to be romantic love, Jules, but it very well could be. And I know you're probably thinking, maybe, I know a lot of people think this way, like, don't lie to me, I'm not even looking. More often than not, that's when people will come to me and be like, wow, I really thought you had it wrong. So I do see the potential for romantic love here. But mainly what this is saying is you need to open your heart up a little bit. Now is the time for you to start accepting new people into your physical orbit. You know enough now. You're wise enough to know whom you can trust and who you can't, right? You're wise enough to know that you're easily manipulated because you're a good person. You're easily taken advantage of. And I feel like this is the universe telling you, like, don't worry, you got this. You're going to know when someone's full of BS. Now is your time to test this, to prove to the universe that you can set a boundary and stand by it, to enforce a boundary. So much of the issues that were going on with the people in your life, all the problems you were having, all the manipulation and other terrible things that were happening were because you were not strong enough or didn't feel like you deserved to be able to enforce a boundary. But the universe wants to see that that's not the case anymore, and that you love and respect yourself enough and believe enough in yourself that you will enforce boundaries. You can't shut the world out for the rest of your life because you're afraid of maybe, offending somebody. By setting a boundary over yourself. Put yourself out there. If you have social invitations, accept them. Get yourself out of the house regardless, one way or another. Maybe not while there's tornado warnings or tornadoes hitting down, but definitely try to get out. Take yourself to dinner, even meet new people. Even if you don't form any long-term friendships, at least you'll get some communication with the outside world. You'll get that spark back of new friendships and the hope for maybe something more at some point, meaning more friendships or maybe love. And that's one of the things that's missing right now. But I don't think you realize that, because it's like you're always so like, you're so walked over every time you accept a new friend into your life. And I get it. I think so many of us can identify with that. But now is not that time. I feel like there are good people in your orbit. You just have to put yourself out there enough to be able to connect with them. Good night, Miss Pixie.
Good night.
Who's next?
There's that. And next is going to be Norma.
Munchie Chipmunk, thank you. I'm glad to hear it, because sometimes they don't make sense to me, but they wouldn't because I'm not you, you know? Norma, if you're still here, please let us know. Not reading for anyone who isn't here tonight, except Casey at the end.
Heather B., if you want to go ahead and do her.
Yeah, let me do Heather while we wait for Norma. Heather, I'm going to use the Lantern Oracle for you as well. Norma, if you are here, let us know and you'll be next.
Then New England after all that.
Is he still here?
Yep, if he's still here too.
Okay, New England Dirt Roadie, let us know also if you're still here. So right now it's Heather. Transitions, card number 37. You have all of the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. Transitions bridge our life from one significant change to the next. They are the periods between one way, phase, or chapter in life and another. As interims that follow turning points of no return, they bookmark the times that we have had to figure out how to make our life work again. Transitioning takes as long as it takes to adapt to new circumstances and perspectives. The tension of not being able to turn back and not knowing how to adjust effectively to what is new can be disconcerting. There can be varying degrees of pain, resistance, and inner turmoil as we struggle to break our former self into a new way of life and version of ourselves. Until we figure out how all that is new to us works and reconcile ourselves with it, it can be difficult to trust others as well as to trust ourselves. At these points of no return, we can either freeze, fight as if we can do something about what has already happened, or we grow. Stepping or being thrust over a new threshold requires courage. There are no guarantees that familiarizing ourselves with our new direction will yield anything amenable to us. All that we can do is give life our best by being in the moment and putting 100% into effectively dealing with whatever presents itself. We learn as we go. Once we know better, we do better. Transitions are raw and unstable periods that require time and patience to adjust and recalibrate. Trying to go back is an illusory trap that would be best to avoid. Understand that a return to what is past isn't possible. The reality of it no longer exists for you. However, to complete the process of transition, you must choose to leave and let go of what was. A minor or major time of transition may be at hand. The crone wishes to assure you that it is always okay for your period of transition to be messy, awkward, uncomfortable, and met with resistance. Be gentle with yourself as you find your new rhythm, routine, and way. It is helpful to reflect upon prior transitions and the wisdom gained from each, as well as to keep note of those going forward. Crone's message: transitions are the blessings rarely recognized as such at the time. Okay. Good night, Julie girl. Love you. So, Heather, number one, it's like you've got to be more easy on yourself, more kind to yourself. Okay. I feel like you are putting too much pressure and strain on yourself to keep something held together or to keep something going when nobody else, there's like one other person involved or 10 other people. Nobody else is putting anything into it. It's just you pouring out into it and emptying yourself in the process. There is a major change that needs to take place here. And the thing is, you're comfortable in, I'm saying your own misery. It doesn't mean you're miserable. It just means like you're comfortable in the lower vibration that this situation, relationship, and or situationship is. So it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a job, a kinship, a friendship. It could be literally anything. The time has come, though, for you to move forward. Whatever the other people or the other person wants to do is up to them. You have to trust yourself, though, and you have to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Right now, you're in your comfort zone, your safe space, even if that isn't the happiest you could be, even if it isn't helping you get any closer to achieving your dreams. Yes, it sucks, but at the end of the day, like I said before, staying with someone who mistreats us is a lot easier than saving up money, finding a place to live, putting the rent in security, moving all of our stuff, arguing over who gets the lawn chairs, all of that. It's just easier to stay. And unfortunately, there are some situations that we can't do that in because we aren't going to spiritually grow. And this is one of those situations. You have to remove yourself from this. Now, it doesn't mean you have to get up today and walk out of your job, but it does mean you should start looking for a new job, just using job as an example, and start taking, even if it's baby steps, even if you're crawling, actionable steps towards leaving this job and going on to something better that you're more, more well meant for. There are going to be people who are going to push back. They're going to accuse you of things. They're not going to be so nice. But guess what? Mind over matter. Those who mind don't matter. Those who matter don't mind. If someone's upset with you for leaving an abusive situation, a situation you're miserable in, a situation that's not fulfilling you, then guess what? They don't really care about your happiness. They don't really care about you. You need to care about you and love yourself to start taking these actionable steps towards your ultimate goals and desires, even if they're years down the line and you know that. You are not going to understand the major life lessons, spiritual elevation, and just overall enlightenment you are going to gain by walking away from who and or whatever this is. Once you do that, 5 years from now, you are going to, every good thing in your life, you're going to be able to point back to making this decision and doing something about it. The sooner the better, but no rush. Just be mindful the time is near where you're either going to do something about it or the universe is. And if the universe has to make a decision for you, guess what? It's going to be so much more painful because then you've shown the universe that you're incapable of moving out of your comfort zone, and it's going to make you so uncomfortable you're going to have no choice. Plus, it's going to take a lot longer, and there's going to be a lot more healing that's going to be needed. When you could just start taking the first steps, let the universe know of your intention, and really mean it, even if you have to keep it all to yourself for right now.
Okay.
Hey, Latro.
Well, Norma didn't answer. So go ahead and do New England. And then if Latra wants a reading, you can go ahead and do them. And I guess that will be the night.
And I can go have my ice cream and go to bed early.
Yep.
New England, I'm going to use the Halloween Oracle. What's up, Latro? Thank you for stopping in. Yeah. That's Shauna. Could be Shauna. I don't know for sure, but could be. It's usually like plasma. When we see the white misty stuff, it's similar to plasma, like the left behind residue of spirit that's been in our orbit for a while. Oh, I didn't read for Anna. Aunt Anna didn't want a reading.
She didn't really say so, Edna. If you want a reading, we can get you in. It's only like 15 after 9. So
Heather, this whole long reading I did just now was yours, honey. So you might have missed me calling your name, but go back and rewind because this is your card. All right, Latro, I appreciate you. Okay, New England Dirt Roadie, you got the vampire. Whilst there are almost uncountable examples of vampires in literature, movies, and games, somehow the archetype of the blood-hunting, night-stalking, and somewhat elegant creature keeps being reinvented to seduce yet another generation. Although the beautiful and somewhat desirable vampire form doesn't really begin to enter the public consciousness until the mid-1800s, the idea of a human feeding upon the very stuff of life is very much older. The Egyptians, Sumerians, Indians, and the Balkan people all have mythos containing vampire-like creatures. The vampire is an interesting figure because it is both horrifying and desirable. Having someone want us so much that they desire to be that closely linked with us does feel good until we realize there's nothing much left for us to give them. Most of us have heard of the concept of emotional vampirism, the idea that people feed off of our energy and our goodwill and take advantage of us through manipulation and their incessant neediness. Should the vampire card appear in your reading, it may indicate that you are being drained in this way and the time has come for stronger boundaries. We need to be very aware of what gives us energy in our lives and what takes it away. We should be aware of needing people to need us and why we invite people like this into our homes, workplaces, and lives if indeed we have them around us. Developing the emotional intelligence within ourselves helps us defend against this kind of emotional and psychic attack and enables us to foster healthy, equal relationships of all kinds. So New England Dirt Roadie, I don't think this is something that's happening right now, but I do think that you're like at risk for this type of emotional psychic vampirism. It's like somebody that maybe you're trying to help, you've tried to help, or you have the will to help, is going to suddenly become very available. This is the same person or the same few people constantly asking you for stuff that they could easily do for themselves, or that really it's not your place to do. You being the great guy that you are, wanting to help people, like, don't think twice about helping someone out when they need it. But I feel like this person or these people, they just have like generally bad intentions with you. They treat everyone this way. Just watch your circle. I know you don't have like a lot of real life friends like most of us in here. I know that, you know, it's really scarce the amount of people you do have around, but even out of those little bit of people, I feel like someone here, they might even be acting out of character and becoming this draining thing, like draining on some resource of yours, on your energy, if that's what it is, on your finances, on your kindness, on your love, your affection, your attention, whatever. It's like their neediness. Okay. Make sure you're not being used and or manipulated in the next 2 weeks. And if somebody asks you for help, normally the universe would say, yes, of course, help them. In this case, the universe is saying, take the time to really think about it before you do it, because you don't know what type of energy this person has or these people have that they're going to be feeding off of you. And then they're going to be that person constantly on the phone with you, asking you for more help. And then you're stuck in a situation like that. So Liam Roberts, welcome. I do personal general readings for questions like, will you travel abroad and things like that. And you can hit me up by email privately if you would like one of those readings. Now, what I can do for you tonight, because I only pull one card and I do accept donations, is I can look and see what the one card has to say. But normally it's just general information of something that may be coming into your orbit in the next week or two. I don't mind doing that for you, but answering specific questions with one card when I've had no interaction with you ever in our lives, it's like really hard and it doesn't really work that way. But I would be willing to try. So you can email me about a personal at GemmaJadeParanormal@gmail.com. And for now, let me just pull a card for you and see if there's anything. Let's do the energy and spirit. And nothing about travel may come up, you know, let's just see. I appreciate you coming in. That is really cool. I love seeing new names. There have been so many more new names in the past few weeks. And it's been so incredible because even with all the subscribers I've been gaining over the past few months, it's like this stream, all of a sudden people are very interested in, and I love it. And don't forget, guys, check out the Intuitive Oracle shorts that I do here on YouTube. They're 60 seconds. You are so welcome. And I'm grateful for you, for your questions, and for you coming in and hanging out with us. All right, let's see. Let's see if I can pull up anything about travel. I'm not sure, but we can try because this is just one card. So we have Archangel Zadkiel. And this is the card of self-acceptance, compassion, and forgiveness. 21. Zadkiel is the angel of compassion and forgiveness, and he brings an important message about your attitude towards life. If you tend to be too hard on yourself or relive your past mistakes with shame and self-reproach, Zadkiel showers you with the light and love of self-forgiveness. This card reminds you how your self-perception influences your energy. If you're quick to fault yourself, your energy becomes darkened with your own disapproval, and the darkness returns to you. But Zadkiel is a supremely loving being, and he's longing for you to forgive and accept yourself, no matter what you may have done in the past. Treat yourself with compassion and be encouraging in your self-talk. You are a child of God, and you deserve your own loving acceptance just as you are. Zadkiel brings loving compassion to my life. I completely release the past, and I forgive myself and others. So I got a little bit about your travel, but let me, oh, thank you, Liam. Let me tell you what else I got first. So this is you on this mission of, whether you realize it or not, especially in the next week or two, this self-forgiveness, right? You understanding that, yes, you've made mistakes, but you've also been wronged by others. Always remember and keep in mind that forgiveness is for you. The other person doesn't even need to know that you forgave them. And forgiveness never has to equal reconciliation. If someone has shown you who they are, just believe them. And that's easier said than done. I know that, not judging, just saying, like, you are moving on. You are moving into a time of, you know, self-awareness, self-reflection. You're vibrating higher than most of the people around you. So that may be why you're not really meshing with them anymore. Like you may feel like there's something different, something missing from you in your friend group or in your interpersonal relationships, romantic relationships, even with your family. There are people here, like they're not understanding you anymore because you literally aren't on their level. And I talk about this a lot. It doesn't mean you're better than them. It just means you're more spiritually ascended. You're more connected. So this is a journey of self-discovery. As far as travel, I can never give you a definite yes or no because free will of many can play a role in that. But in this card, yes, I do see some travel in your future because I'm seeing you on a journey, a literal journey, one emotionally, energetically of self-discovery, self-forgiveness, self-awareness, right? Connecting. But I also see you meeting all kinds of like new and exotic people, even if they're not that exotic, it's like they're new, exotic for you. And just actively playing a more active role in your own life, not letting people use you, abuse you, keeping up your boundaries, enforcing your boundaries, and feeling really good while you're doing it. So I would say if you're feeling like you want to travel, you should be traveling, you will be traveling. You are making things happen. You are making things that 10 years ago would have seemed impossible become very possible in this moment in time. So while you may not be traveling in the next week or two, you will be cutting ties with people. You will be seeing people, like seeing through their masks. You will be, whether you call people out on their BS or not, it doesn't matter to you anymore because you see the snakes in your grass for who and what they are. And it's like, you just don't want to be bothered anymore. You're moving on up and you couldn't be more excited about it. This is an amazing energy. I hope you stay in this energy for as long as possible until your missions are completed and you just keep rising and rising, because this is really beautiful, light, airy. I forgive myself. I'm moving on. I don't care what you say. Good for you. That's great type energy. Thank you. Thank you, Liam. I appreciate it. And starting next week, we'll be here every Friday. Thursday is kind of a one-off at 7:15 p.m. Eastern. So if you'd like to stop in, feel free. We're always here. We're usually here till like 10:30 or 11, but on nights like tonight, it's nice to end a little early and go to bed because I'm an early bird.
Okay, so Edna, then Casey, and you're done.
I think I will speak to Casey personally. I would like to just get to my food after Miss Aunt Edna. Aunt Edna, I'm going to use a raise wand. You're so sweet, Liam. Thank you. I love all the new names coming in. Did somebody put my email in the chat for Liam? Good night, Mark. Thank you so much.
Yes, I've been putting it in there.
Okay, thank you, sweetie. All right, Miss Aunt Edna, let's see what's up, girl. Times arrow in the upright position. Rebecca Parsley helps the dragon toad in his quest to know the future. She presents a crystal ball, waiting for something to appear, or perhaps it won't. The future is a murky land, but one thing is certain: time can magnify or diminish. Do things seem futile because time destroys all eventually, or precisely because of this, everything we do has significance? Time diminishes pain as it heals, just as it magnifies by urging us to spend every moment well. Magnify or diminish, both can better our lives, and time can be your servant, not enemy. So Aunt Edna, yeah, I'm still feeling like you're really not feeling the best. Physically, mentally, emotionally, psychically, energetically, you may be hot mess in it, right? And that's okay. We all have those moments. But I feel like what the universe is saying is, who hasn't been through this, right? Who doesn't need to sometimes constantly have to pick themselves back up? You are getting stronger, at least spiritually, okay, at least psychically, by everything you're going through and the lessons that you're inevitably learning. I don't even think you're aware, Edna, of the major life lessons you've learned since all of this happened with your physical ailments and since, you had the surgery and all that. Like, I feel like you've been so focused on what you can't do anymore or how people are going to perceive you that you've been pulling in a lot of negativity without realizing it. But you being who you are have also been transmuting a lot of that into positive energy and doing positive things. The universe is saying, don't waste any more time wallowing or wondering, what if this didn't happen? What if that happened instead? What if I do this next? Just do it. Obviously, there are going to be restrictions on things that you can physically do, and that's fine, but you're still not doing everything you can to make yourself feel good, to treat yourself like the queen you are, like the goddess you are. It's like you're allowing others' opinions of you, or better yet, you're perceived, like what you're perceiving others' opinions of you are, to dictate how you're living your life, what you're doing, you know, what you're thinking, what your next move is. When Aunt Edna does what Aunt Edna knows she needs to do, and that's it, and you get it done. It doesn't have to be this emotional struggle. Stop projecting your worst fears or this negativity onto other people, like looking around and thinking that someone's stopping you from doing something, or someone thinks you shouldn't be doing something. When have you ever cared about that? What other people think? There's a decision coming in the next week or two where the universe wants to see you just make a decision. Don't consider anyone else. And this sounds really selfish, but I feel like you're going to know what this decision is once it comes in. It's not a selfish thing. It really doesn't have to do with anybody else. So you shouldn't be getting their opinion. Make the decision based on what you really want deep down inside. Not by saying, well, what I really want to do is this, but I can't. No, make the decision and then find a way to do it. And once you do that, you're going to feel so good about yourself. It's going to remind you who you are, what you're here for, and what you do. And it's going to be the next step into raising your vibration and getting right back on track on your course. Guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for coming in and spending this time with us. It's been about 2.5 hours, so that's a good night. Thank you to all of the new people who came in for the first time tonight, or who are continuing to come in week after week. I really enjoy seeing that. Thank you to all my besties, all my gemstones. Do me a favor and please support my YouTube shorts, okay? Please. They're between 4 seconds and 60 seconds of your time, and they really mean a lot to me. I put a lot of time into most of them, and you know, I'm trying to entertain you guys. Comments are off, but not because of you guys, because of a lot of trolling and nastiness. Yes, Smoochie, I did read for you though. Darling Deb girl, I'll probably talk to you in a little bit, if not definitely tomorrow, because I feel like I'm going to eat and pass right out after I get RJ settled. But I love you guys so much. Don't forget to donate if you can. My PayPal and Cash App, I do appreciate it. Love you too, Latro. Love you guys so much. And I'll talk to you. Well, I put a lot of work into all of them, whether they're fun for you or not. They're fun for me. I'll talk to all of you. I guess it would be Tuesday is the next time you'll be seeing me. I've got on Monday afternoon, I'm not sure which is going to be which yet, but I got Close Encounters of the Healing Kind. So extraterrestrials, like cases of extraterrestrials that have actually healed people. And I've got, oh my gosh, I can't remember what I was working on this week. Something else for y'all. Just hang out at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and it'll be 11 a.m. Eastern and 12 noon for the members only video. But the members only video is public for anyone to be able to watch for the first 24 hours. And then I'll see you at 1 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday for afternoon talk. Ghostdragonzw, we'll see you guys Saturday or tomorrow. Saturday night at midnight for replays of my own video, my old videos. So good night, guys. I know you do, Miss Smoochie. They just, some of them take a really long time. I don't think you guys would get it. Yes. Good night, Liam. Thank you again for coming in. Good night, guys. I'll talk to you all soon.